What is going on, guys? It is Zero, and welcome to the very first Maple podcast. I thought it would be cool to get a bunch of MapleStory streamers into a call together and just talk about the game, whether it be issues or new content, or just the game in general. And this podcast is the result. Links to all the socials of each and every person in this video are in the description. So be sure to check that out, give them all a follow, and yeah, enjoy. Alright, let me hop into call. Let them know.
Yoinking the idea
Hello.
from...
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Howdy. Alright,
Hi.
How's it going?
let me, swoop.
Swoop.
This is our cast. Ta-da! Oh, I'm covering Chuck.
Oh no.
So we have a couple
Restart.
people that are joining us a little bit late because they have other commitments. Pocket is coming late. Nox is coming late. But right now, do we want to do like a quick introduction?
Sure.
Matt, you want to go first? Just name,
Hi, I'm
Twitch channel, and
Date of birth.
Yeah. Name's Matt. Twitch is MisusingTV. Nice to meet you.
Scardor, you gonna go next?
I think everyone here knows me.
Wow.
We'll do
Wow.
an intro.
Bold.
I like it.
Just
Oh,
introduce yourself, man. It's for the people.
Yo,
As a formality.
Scardor.
Hello.
Twitch.tv/Scardor.
Beck, you wanna go next?
Smash that like button.
My Twitch- Oh, nobody would know me because I keep changing my Twitch name, but my Twitch is BACZ, so Becz.
Oh, I got your name wrong in my
Holy-
title. Oh shit.
Oh
I said,
no.
I'll put your old Twitch name. The one with
Redo.
3 C's.
Redo. Oh no.
Yeah, mods, can we change that? Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Is there anything else to say?
Uh,
Formerly Basic Becz, that's it.
previously Basic Beck. Austin?
Hey guys, I'm Austin.
Nice to meet you.
I do a lot of spreadsheets. Got it.
Spreadsheets. This is the spreadsheet guy. Chuck?
Oh, sure. Hey, it's Chuck. Twitch channel MechSoySauce. Your feature number 1275
Oh.
in a moment.
Yeah, over my dead body, Mr. No Frenzy Totem.
Okay, okay.
Wow.
Anyways,
Oh.
Kobe, go ahead.
Shots. Go for it, Kobe.
What is up, guys? This is Kobe here. My Twitch URL is iSIingGunz with 2 I's, no L, because I don't take L's. That's about it.
That's
Really
clever.
worked on that intro.
Rehearsed.
My favorite. All right. As I said earlier, we do have a couple people joining us a little bit late. So yeah, they'll just pop into call when they're ready. Do we want to get started?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Our first topic. We'll start off pretty light. We'll go over future content, stuff that's in KMS right now, stuff that's coming to GMS. First and foremost, the new level cap. What do you think about 275? I know Chuck and Matt touched on it. Is anyone going for
Well, I'm happy
275?
that it's there. I mean, I won't go for 275 probably, unless, depending on like how long it takes to get there. But we'll see with KMS. But like, I'm excited to like at least get a few levels just to unlock my V matrix. That's the key thing for me.
Yeah,
True,
I am
true.
looking forward to more node slots for sure.
I,
I don't
feel
know
like
if I'll
it's
go
gonna
for
be exciting
275.
again because the race is gonna really boost up everyone's like expectations for new content, right?
Yeah, but how many people are actually gonna race to
There's
275?
so many 250s nowadays. So many.
I'm just excited to be able to train my Wild Hunter again. You know, after just it being inactive for like 3 years now. Yeah, it's just gonna be fun to get EXP. I mean, like I say I want to race, but like it's gonna be a marathon. You know, like it's gonna take a while to get to 275. And the first 275 will probably be a botter. All right, so we're gonna have to look out for rankings.
Fingers crossed Nexon actually
Pays
bans or
attention.
moderates it a little bit better than they do currently.
Or Zong makes a YouTube video, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I could just make an unofficial rankings video again.
True. Well, like Matt said, I think when I reached 250, I wasn't really rushing for 250, but when I reached 250, it really felt like, now what?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys felt like you could still do your dailies, you could still boss, but your character's like done, you know? So I guess it kind of feels nice that you can start making progress again. But yeah, it's still an endless grind. All of MapleStory is 11k Legion, I guess.
One of my issues with the new level cap is the meso reduction. When you're too high level above
yeah.
a monster, then you start getting reduced meso. So it's kind of an issue with Reboot because
So
I'm not
for
gonna be able to
Reboot,
farm on my
Are you guys
main
gonna have
anymore.
247 mules for real? Just to farm at CLP now?
Yeah,
or
that's the plan.
How's that gonna work?
I'm
Oh no.
starting to work on another Kanna. Yeah.
Yay!
That sounds awful.
Gotta start getting that arcane force up. Start gearing it up for Arcana probably.
Hell no. What is a farming character? What is that?
Is there anything else?
Now, personally, I am not going for 275. If anything, I just can't do it because I'm trash. Another thing is I was really disappointed at the map spawn and layout of Tenebris. Especially be like the in-game map that you're supposed to train at. Best grinding streamer Munchie just hit 255 yesterday. He went to Lehman, and his review over it was that the spawn rate is not good. So I'm hoping they do something about that in the future to kind of encourage me to level up a little bit more.
Yeah,
But for now,
I feel like they
I'm just
probably
chilling.
would.
I hope
hope
so.
Would any of the maps be viable in a GMS state though? Like, you know how COP is actually really
Yes,
really
you'll over level
Is
it.
there any, like-
You're gonna over level it. You'll eventually get to the point to where you have to train there for best rates.
all right.
I think
And
there
we'll
was
go
something
for
else.
spider maps for a while, right?
Spider-Man?
Yeah, people will be
MTS.
training at
Oh, the
Asphera for quite a
Asphera
while.
map.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you'll CLP for a while, then Asphera for a while, and
Yep.
how many levels are you short then?
After you finish spiders, those are 244, so you would be
244.
255-ish.
I mean, the reduction doesn't get too severe until 20 levels above, so you can get there until like
Yeah.
260 plus.
260
Yeah,
finish?
True.
Yeah. So it's the last 10 levels you need to.
Alright, so I think most people are assuming that Dax is going to be the new rank 1. Does anyone have any
Probably.
estimates or guesses who's going to be number 2? It's not going to be me.
It's gonna be you, dude.
No, it's not
You're
me.
number
It's not me.
Pass on the
No, I'm
mantle.
a casual player now. I'm a casual player.
I
I'm
thought it was
working
over
man.
Matt's
I
dead
don't
body
know.
earlier.
Hey, I meant in Bera, all right? I'm not talking about
Alright.
overall.
Oh, okay. How about this? Who's going to be rank 1 non-reboot?
That's tough.
Damn. Hard to say.
I'm gonna just let you in on something right now. Everybody that's in this podcast except for me has hit 250, so count me out.
I
Back
don't
in
know. I
early
feel
20s,
like as much as I want to say it would be me, I don't think it's realistic, to be honest. I can't put my life on hold just to hit 275. I want to, but there's a lot of time between now and then, and like anything can change, right? Life situation, stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm. Given how
Man, if
long
only
it'll
inmates there should make a comeback.
Oh,
take...
Imagine.
there's no arcane force
Given how
there. Ooh.
long- Oh,
Oof.
yeah.
Do you think he's
Well,
even 5th job yet?
But what if
No,
he
probably not.
has a different character? He's a second one.
Ooh.
Given how long it'll take though to hit 275, I feel like a lot of people kind of are immediately disqualified from really racing
You
because
think?
of like actual life commitments.
Oh, right, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I was still in college, right,
Mm.
I could theoretically just do nothing for 2 months and try and grind to
Mhm.
275, but definitely can't do that now. So
You could take off like 2 months, like you did for art, right? Or what
I
was
took
it?
off like a week and a half for
A
art.
lot of people started the race on KMS when it went up, and there's already a lot of people who are dropping out of it as well. Once they realize the actual time investment they have to put into
Oh,
the
yeah.
game, like somebody recently just hit 255, and I think that's all they're going for because of just how long it's gonna take to reach 275.
How long do
It's
you think it would
ridiculous.
take to, like you said, 265 for the Black Mage?
Well, Black Mage Phase 1 is 265, while Phase 2 and 3 are 275, and
Jesus
Phase
Christ.
4 is 265. So, for you reboot players, you're going to have to scale your accuracy formula off of that.
Huh.
I forgot about the lower accuracy in Reboot. That's gonna be rough.
What accuracy? What is that?
You mean damage reduction?
Yeah, the damage
reduction.
penalty.
Oh, I thought there was a thing where like if you were too far low leveled, you couldn't even hit.
I
Is
think
that
you
No,
not a
you
miss.
thing?
deal
Yeah,
1 damage.
20 levels
Yeah,
too
no.
low.
No, there is. Like if
Okay.
you're too far underneath, like you're gonna hit ones or something like that.
But it's like
Yeah.
25 levels or
So
something?
theoretically, if you were 255 and you into the Black Mage, you wouldn't even be doing damage to the second phase. So it's tough.
Yeah.
Hmm. So are you guys guessing some form of extra power creep to make the mage like more?
I mean, if KMS doesn't really release anything, then I don't think so.
But they still could, right? Like an
Increase symbol level to 20. Technically, is that still in the data? 25 symbol.
Oh, please
that
no.
doesn't do
No more
anything for the
dailies.
black
Ugh.
mage, right?
Oh no, not more daily
But I think
story.
Pretty sure it is. I more so wish they released symbols for the new areas instead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what they
That
could
would have
That's
been
true.
much better.
is if they do a new symbol for all the new areas, that's 3 extra symbols. That's 660. That's exactly plus 50% for the black mage.
True.
Okay.
Wait, so
So
we
that's
have
like a
to
theory.
kill the Black Mage in order to get Genesis Weapon, or to upgrade the Genesis Weapon, right?
Yeah.
So
You have
you
to
got the
kill him
bonus,
like
yeah.
8 or 9.
You gotta. The first quest is
Ooh,
to kill
yikes.
the Genesis Egg, which is basically the reward box for the Black Mage, and then you are granted with the clean weapon. And with the clean weapon, you have to do missions in order to get it to its full stats.
You gotta fight like all of the bosses basically in the game, and you start with the weakest ones, and then you get the most.
Just the
damage
Black Mage
reduction,
commanders,
like
all
from
their
Leon or
the
something,
hardest versions of them. Yeah.
and then Arc, and then yeah.
Just wondering, how bad was the Genesis weapon nerfed? I heard like it got a significant like damage
15%
decrease,
or
right?
something?
Still better than Arcane by a slight bit. But the nerf was pretty big. All weapons, I
mages.
think, lost like
I think it was 15%.
15. It's between 15 and 20
Wow.
on their
Yes, yeah.
attack.
It was pretty decent.
I didn't know they got nerfed.
They
Yeah.
didn't really
They did.
show it like in Orange Mushrooms thing. It didn't really say, but if you looked over the numbers, it was about 15, a little bit more down. I think did the magical weapons get nerfed a little bit more?
Magical weapons?
Yeah.
Was that?
Mage weapon.
Oh, right.
The ones with magic attack. I
Right.
mean, yeah. But yeah, they're
They
still
saw
really
like
good.
overall magic attack decrease, but that's because they're already high attack in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. They were like close to 500 base or something.
Well, we could segue this into badges, given that the Black Mage drops a badge. Would
Yes.
anyone like to discuss the recent news about badges?
Ooh,
Did you hear?
Does anyone actually want to say what happened to badges first?
I don't want to say what happened to
Okay,
badges.
nothing
Nah.
happened.
I think
yet.
that's
It hurts me.
I think that's a topic for later in the podcast.
Okay.
Prepare your
Um,
F's in the chat, boys.
Yeah, I think there'd be too much outrage on that.
yeah.
A bit too much. Y'all got to use the Monster Park badge. You don't got that right? Oh, that's gonna be hard for a reboot.
Can Reboot not
what do we
get
think
7
about the
passes?
new Pedvac
It's a metal.
Pedvac pets?
No, it's just they're really rare to
Oh.
get from the boxes. So
Okay.
oh, the monster Park
Oh,
ones.
those, yeah.
Yeah, what do we think about the new pets?
Ooh, yeah.
Can't
You
wait.
guys seen
I
them?
mean, they're cool. I don't think I'll be getting one probably, but
Big cash grab. And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, how much is this
Mhm.
expected to cost actually?
Kobe says
I would say
100.
about close to 100 a pop per pet.
And do you need more than one, or is one good enough? Like,
I feel like
Like,
one would
one
be
should be
good
good
enough
enough.
for most people.
yeah.
100?
I don't think you need 3 times the back. Like,
imagine though.
Probably just crash a game.
I would get
Yeah,
3
probably
of them because the thing is about the pets, or at least on normal servers, they have a much higher attack passives than regular pets. Plus, the pet equips also give a base 10 attack each.
can they be
So it
scrolled?
just makes pet gear a lot better.
Hold up.
Yeah, they can be
$100?
Yeah.
$100 a piece, yeah, for the pet. Now for the
What the
eclipse,
fuck?
I feel like
That's a lot of money,
also gonna
dude.
be around the same as well. I'm not really sure
Isn't that
how you would
basically
obtain the
like-
eclipse. Sure, it'll be from the crystals as well, but
I thought it was the same. Yeah, I think you just fuse until you get lucky.
Yeah, but that's like on average, right? Yeah, because you could get lucky or unlucky.
Yeah.
now before this podcast started, I did go on Tespia to check and see if Reboot did have the lunar crystals, and they did. But that's on the
Oh.
test server. That might change.
Yeah, that's true.
'Cause I don't
Everything
think
that
they're
we know
supposed
right
to
now
be
is from the
available in
test
Reboot.
server, so
So
Subject to
yeah,
change.
Tespia subjected
Hmm.
subjected to change. My bad.
But I feel
Um,
like regardless, we would probably see them in reboot for GMS.
Mhm. Yep.
I think. I
Otherwise,
think.
Could be,
out
but
there.
what about? Would there be any complaints though? Like if they released them in like pet boxes?
I mean, like, are there complaints right now about having to buy a pet for reboot?
Not
Well,
really.
this
I
is
just
a little bit-
remember this way
Buying
back
a pet,
when
what?
people just started complaining. I remember when they had those
Yeah.
ReZero boxes for NX, and then people complained about
Yeah.
that.
Oof.
That was a
They
big
removed,
issue.
they
for a lot of
removed the
people.
medals from it, I believe, on Reboot, and that was about it.
I
So
think
do people actually
releasing
buy pets though? I get all
probably.
mine for free though.
Like
Events
a
and Hilla,
permanent pet.
everything's free.
I've seen people spend more money on permanent pets than $100 worth.
Yeah.
Better.
Damn.
But this is a
I'm
little
still
like in my mind. This is
Free to
something.
play,
that-
guys.
This is definitely like a pay to win aspect, that more so than just getting a normal pet is.
That's true because it's VAC. Like it's going to like, so we can talk about like, the fact that these VAC pets make a lot, like many more classes viable farm with. You don't have to stick with just
the current
your
meta
Ice
classes.
Lightnings, your
Right.
Loomies, your Kannas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can actually play like your main, right, and get pretty good rates because all you got to do is just, as long as you clear the map decently, you just jump around and the mess will come to you.
Yeah, because
Right.
right now the farming meta revolves around classes that can continue killing mobs while you loot, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it means that classes that don't have a lot of like summons or stuff like that kind of fall behind because
Mm-hmm.
they just kill less mobs while they loot.
So what classes out of the gate would become better just due to pet back alone? Do you guys think?
I'm thinking classes
Like-
like
most of them.
Wind Archer. would
Yeah,
be
I
pretty
feel
good.
like most of them, right?
Yeah, most of them.
as long as you're just able to clear, well enough,
Can you think of any
you don't
specific
have
ones
to-
though?
Say that again.
Any specific classes that would be a lot better?
Beast
After
Tamer
this?
new meta?
I mean, Beast Tamer is kind of like meta right now. If you can one
Yeah.
shot with the fart, like
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Multi-platform.
I would say like pretty much any class that already has good mobbing, but it's not based on summons. So like Evan, for example, has good mobbing, but it's based in summons, so you can be looting while you're killing an
Oh.
entire map. Whereas Arc has good mobbing, but you're actively attacking. You're not casting a summon and letting it doing all the killing.
so. Yeah, I mean, like Arc's rates would be a lot better because you
Yeah.
don't have to like all you have to do is basically like toggle between two platforms. You don't have to go on the top one,
right.
and you're pretty good. Night Lords, if you're able to one shot with stars,
Yep,
Night Lords
definitely.
would be
Or-
excellent because they would just be like showdowning everything,
Mm-hmm. Milo
Um,
would definitely be up there.
Mechanics.
I think
Yeah,
mechanics are
mecha-
really,
would,
really
would
good.
mechanics be even better?
We put
Because
bull map
again,
I
and
think
bull map
everything
to-
that's currently good will still be will be even better. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
true.
Yeah. Okay.
The only stuff that would still be bad is like the very poor
Jet.
mobbing classes. Yeah, Jet, like Mihail. I don't know, other classes.
Well,
that
I mean,
suck at
wouldn't
Mihail,
mobbing.
is
wouldn't
that
Mihail
mobbing?
just
I think Mihail would be.
yeah,
pretty good.
Mihail
Are
would
they?
just get better. It's
Yeah.
kind of like
It would
Arc,
get-
right?
They would
Where
definitely
Yeah.
get better, but they would not
But
be.
relative to other
great.
classes, it
Yeah.
would not be
They
great.
would still not be great, just because the mobbing is not as.
I'm
good.
pretty sure Mihail can, like, if they jump, they can hit like the top 2 platforms, and then if they cast it from the middle, they hit the bottom 2. So I think Mihail gets really
Yeah.
good after.
I
new
honestly
pets.
have no idea because I don't know any Mihails.
I'm friends
Hey,
with,
I'm playing
Very
against right
scarce
now.
class.
That shield explosion is actually really fucking good. Okay,
yeah, it's not
Alright
bad.
then.
and you can use it like every 4
5
seconds.
hits. But
Yeah,
I
once you
can't
get your
play
stacks
Mihao.
up,
As soon as I try to play Mihao, Royal Guard was too much of an issue.
wasn't that just because of
became
ping?
ping? Yeah.
Yep, ping.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing it for like the last 3 days now, and it's doable. I have about 200 ping, but it's doable to keep the shields up. It does
Mine's
require
about the
some,
same too. It's a
It
little
does require a
difficult.
little bit of like concentration, but once you get like
Oh,
once you get it down
Oh.
to
Oh,
hello,
three
Mr.
days,
Pocket.
you can press the button
Welcome.
and get the damage.
How you doing?
Oh.
do you want to give
No, that
a
was
quick
fine.
introduction,
buddy?
Pocket?
Lightning is in the
Lightning strike.
For those that
Shit.
don't know,
out here, bro. We're out here. What's good?
Oh, it's so shiny. I am Pocket
I was gonna
Stream,
say.
play Night Lord on Reboot. Been playing for 2 years. Outside of that, long-time player since beta as well.
number 1 Night Lord reboot. Ooh.
Number one? Ooh,
Yeah,
I'll
Pocket's
be
a
right back.
beast. Oh. We were just
Thank
talking
you.
about
Gotta go
the
grab his food.
we were just talking about the
Needs to
new
get
pets in
sunglasses.
KMS. We're brainstorming like what classes would be really good at farming that aren't currently good at farming.
I got a topic for you guys. Have y'all looked into that new server that's on Tespia right now? Challenge
Oh,
server?
the challenge world.
Ooh, I saw
So
that.
do you have
but
to make?
I don't know.
Do you have to make brand new characters from scratch for that? Is that how it works, or do you import
Wait, what is the
characters?
server?
You make brand new characters. You can only make one character on the server.
Mm.
Any NX you spend will be refunded as Maple points after the server is over. I don't know where they got that idea from.
Who knows?
It's original. Yeah.
Wait,
but
is it just
apparently
another lab server? Basically.
No.
Well, no, because it goes off different things for every season of challenge that they bring.
Oh.
The first season of challenge right now, that's out right now, is Mulong Dojo. So it's essentially just a big Mulong Dojo contest where apparently pay to win is available. So I'm still trying to be sure on all of that. But it's just whoever's first in Mulong Dojo just get some really nice prizes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that they'll release more content like this to come.
It's first.
It was a Tower of Oz challenge server. I'm sure some of y'all
Ooh.
will
That would, be,
on
that would actually be pretty cool, in my opinion.
Yes, I would
you
love
have like
that.
4 here.
I would like that a lot more than Dojo.
Yeah, the rewards are mediocre. I personally am going for them because they give coins for the event store, and I need a lot of coins for the specific event store that's going to be out. So it's basically just a whole bunch of coins and just other random stuff. Rewards
Just
aren't really all
wondering,
that major.
Are all classes available for this one, or is it limited again to like explorers?
All classes but zero, basically.
Interesting. Okay, that
Although
sounds cool.
realistically, it'll only be like 3 classes that are good at Dojo. Those will be your options.
Fire poison.
So
Let's go.
in GMS, it would probably end up being Hayato and then Sinon and Hero.
I mean, you know it's going to be dual blades and arcs, right?
Okay, well, I mean, if we're talking all players, then
Yeah, all play. Be
Including
inclusive.
the DLC players. And
yeah,
Yeah.
the DLC.
The DLH.
Is that what they're calling it now?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, wait, is that the cool thing to do now? Hang on.
I don't know.
whoa, where's everyone going?
I
I
have
don't
no
know. I thought
idea
that was
where Kobe
that was
went.
what we were doing. I don't know. Everyone's doing it.
Shouldn't give in to peer pressure.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I'll have to take a look at the rewards and think if it's viable to even think that I'll get something from it. Probably just check it out.
It
Just-
seems like it's going to be kind of a gamble because the rewards are maple points. So it's like
Yeah.
you have to spend to make your character good at dojo, but you can't spend more than the reward because otherwise you're just throwing away money.
Yeah. You gotta
So
spend
it's
money
trying
to
to
make money.
optimize. Yeah.
Hmm.
What do we know? What first place is? What does first place get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first overall gets 500,000 maple
500K.
points, and then they get like a fancy title and a chair, and then first place for each class gets 300k.
Whoa. I mean,
300k maple points, and they also get the chair, and they get first place for overall and class both get a Mugong Roid. So if you wanted an android that looked like Mugong, then there you go.
Interesting.
but
Panda.
can it wear the Wondroid heart?
Probably not.
Don't want it.
It's actually interested in trying it though when it comes over, if it comes over.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a try. I don't know if I'll really try to
If
be
it
first.
requires
though.
the pay to win thing, I might not. It's just,
Like, wait,
I'll just
so
watch
you can
you
buy
guys do it.
cubes and like cash rolls with
Yeah.
an X?
The cash shop is like, as far as I know, it's just a norm. But there's a contest for who
You cut
gets
out.
the highest.
What'd you say,
dojo
Austin?
rankings. Oh, sorry.
Wasn't the
As
cash
far as I know, it's
Yeah.
just a normal server,
Okay. Ooh,
Oh, I see.
and then there's a contest to
a
get
bit spooky.
the highest dojo.
A normal server where you basically have like additional skills, not as OP as like the lab attack skill or the attacks passes that you got from lab, but
So
you are
less than
granted
4,000?
skill points. Yeah, less than 4,000. Not even close to 4,000.
Not even 400%. What is
Wow.
Not even 400%.
You could redeem your
But-
Marvel stuff in lab server, right?
Probably.
this? Well, if it's pay to win, then count me out. I mean, I'm 100% free to play. I don't think I'm gonna change that for a challenge
Oh.
server.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo, Nox, bro. What's
Hey.
up, man?
Hey, nice hood,
Oh, hey,
nice hoodie,
Becz.
man.
You fixed your.
Yeah,
I like it, man.
layout. We
Oh,
got Chuck
crap.
in the middle now.
Solid antlers.
How's it going?
Welcome. I'm covering
What's up?
Kobe. Oh,
What
moving back down
I
here.
think I should be covered right now.
did I miss?
We're just talking about pets and KMS.
We're just talking
so
about
far.
future content. Yeah,
the challenge
It's been
server.
like half an hour. We can move on to the next topic. The big
Sure.
one. Now that everyone's here. Wait, before that,
Oof.
Nox, you want to give a quick intro? Like your name.
Hey guys,
Twitch
I'm
name.
Sam. People call me Nox, and I'm apparently the origin of a lot of memes. So you probably already know
Best
me.
law, by the way.
Thanks, man.
I'm
What's
the
your
biggest
Twitch
fan
channel,
over here of
Nox?
Nox.
It's twitch.tv/code_Nox.
There you
Movie coming soon.
go.
Please.
Yo, the Nox, bro movie. I can't wait.
All right. Moving on to the second topic. It's a big one. Kishin. Woo!
Oh boy.
I gotta sit out on this one.
Oh,
I don't know what to say I'd have over this since I haven't really been spoiled by it. So like I don't know what I can say about the people who have been. Like you know.
I
what I'm saying?
mean, we heard about those changes, right? Overseas changes. Who's scared right now about
Changes?
them at this point?
I
Yeah,
mean,
like they were
enlighten
talking
me,
about
dude.
overseas changes, possibly.
nothing confirmed yet.
I don't know anything.
I did hear Awu said they were talking to Korea during PAX or something regarding Kishin, so a little bit spooked
Yeah.
that they're gonna touch it. Last time they did
Yeah,
something with
that's
Kishin,
same.
there was a lot of backlash from the
bad.
community.
Yeah. That was right when Frenzies came out too.
Yes,
So it was
was-
especially bad.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
real bad. Ooh.
Mhm.
What a coincidental timing that was.
I know,
huh?
right? It was definitely an accident.
Who could have seen that coming? Did you guys ever like talk to Arbu about it, like personally, about like the situation with the meta with Kishin?
No, we never
With
discussed
Yes.
with them.
Yes.
Did we?
At TwitchCon.
Oh, you did.
Right.
Chuck and I.
Ooh.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
A very long time
Right.
ago. No.
Did you? Well, could you elaborate? Like, what kind of stuff did you say, and did you get any kind of response? Or?
Matt?
I kind of forgot. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Nice.
Well, okay. Because I mean, I've talked to Arbu about it like two or
Well,
three times.
we
so
talked
far.
about like Haku getting nerfed, right? I think that
Yeah.
was around the time that Haku
Oh
got nerfed.
yeah.
The double buff to only the single buff and
Yeah.
mages not being OP at bosses anymore.
I
They're
think
still OP at
basically
bosses.
we
Don't kid
wanted
yourself.
at least Haku to keep the buff for itself. I think that was.
Yeah,
the
I
main,
think I still
drive.
agree with that.
Because Kannas got way too underpowered.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anything
Completely
regarding
unviable
Kishin
mobber now.
with Aoi, Matt?
Yeah, so basically what I talked to him about is it's not that I hate the current meta or anything. I hate when a meta is stale and people don't really have legitimate alternatives. I don't like that. So right now it's basically like meso farm
Well-
or get a second computer, or you basically
Exactly. I think most
stuck to
people are
the
just
late game
annoyed.
max, you know?
I think most people are just annoyed at the fact that in order to be efficient at the game, and it's all about
Yeah.
efficiency, right? You have to have a second computer.
Mm.
If not, farm on Akana.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would say it's all
Yep.
about fun, but it's really hard to have fun if you can't kill anything.
See,
Yeah.
what
So
I've
it's hard-
It kind of intersects at a certain point.
the
Or it's hard to have fun if you're consistently killing a map and waiting for it to respawn. In
Oh,
you know.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much downtime without. spawning.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it
you
wasn't
gotta
as
train
bad.
in the
Like,
big maps.
when
That's
I was
true.
when I was like
Makes
training
places
in
like
lab,
Morass
it wasn't
actually
as
viable.
bad as I had feared it was gonna be.
I mean, Lab has like
That's true.
constant 2x plus
That's
the 3x
true.
coupons, so it's
That
like
was
you
a
basically have
very.
Kishin. Uh,
Yeah, that felt normal to me because I never have to.
But to move back, so what I talked to Arwu about, what I feel like would be like a recent like reasonable alternatives would be to either have because I feel like it's easy to complain about things, but if you don't produce any kind of alternatives or possible solutions, then you're just kind of whining, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what I proposed was like just the idea of temporary meso costing frenzy totems or a decent kishin matrix, you know, node.
No,
Yeah.
That something like that could at least give people options. Obviously, the alternatives would be like a little bit weaker, or you'd have to farm a lot with the frenzy totem to make up for the cost. But you would be able to, as long as you used it, and you could have like a 1 day, 3 day, 7 day alternative, just the same as a teleport rock, for example. And then the decent node, you could say it starts off really weak and maybe gets stronger as you level it, or maybe it just. I mean, obviously, it can never get as good as actual Kishin, but at least it would give people with just one computer an option,
Yeah.
rather than
like
now
decent holy
feel
symbol.
like, do I have to get a job to buy a second computer first before I can play this computer game? You know?
Yeah, I think that's the
Alright,
main
well,
issue.
the idea of like a second computer, it's not exactly like even I have a second computer just for work.
I
Mhm.
mean,
have
it's
a
just
second kitchen.
stupid.
But it's like once you have your
It's inhibitive. It's really
Mm,
inhibitive
definitely.
to
Yeah.
get people to get into the game. And
Like,
if you
like,
grow your
Why
player
does the
base-
game have to rely on
Mm.
you having a second
Yep.
computer? Like
what
that's
happens when we have our 250 plus areas. You know,
Exactly, that's not-
250
that's not-
plus race, and,
that's not a healthy
Yeah.
game, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the word rely, but it kind of does.
I mean, the meta
It's
is
not like
to
you-
have
it's
Kishin.
not like
If
you
you
have
don't
It's
have
not
Kishin,
a. It's
then
not
you're
a
gonna,
literal requirement. but
you're gonna
it
progress a
is-
lot
but if you
slower
don't
than
have
everyone
it,
else,
yeah.
right? That does have
Yeah.
Kishin.
I think.
So
I mean, like my mom got to 250 without it. Like it's possible.
yeah, definitely. But
I mean, if my 65-year-old mother can do it, I'm sure most people in the chat can do it as well. But
Yeah.
it takes a lot of. It still took her like almost a year and a half, I think. And
Yeah.
you know, she doesn't have like school or work anymore. So I mean,
Damn,
yeah, she
she's
does have
better than
an extra
me.
time.
Ooh.
Like it's possible, but yeah, it puts up like this huge barrier. So
Mm.
I don't know if you guys, what do you guys think of these like suggestions? Have you thought about this
Honestly,
as well? Or what?
I think it should be a link skill instead of a V matrix because you got to think about the meso farming meta and bye and stuff. People still kind of need Kish, so
Mm.
if they're gonna get rid of Kish like entirely, link skills would work better because you just have to level up Kish. And
I
See,
think
the
both of those
issue-
options are possible.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
like all of these suggestions, like in theory they would work, but you have to keep in mind that the dev team for NA
Yeah,
is
Like, how
is
feasible is
sourced
it?
from Korea.
Non-existent.
Well, it's sourced in Korea.
not there.
So
that's
if
our
Korea
last topic,
says
right?
that
Wait,
if
is
Korea
Korea
says-
computer?
I'm
If Korea says
basically
no, then
100%
it's like-
certain.
it's pretty unlikely that we're gonna see something like
No.
decent Kishin or
What-
like frenzy totems
Yeah.
and cash up or something like that. You know,
Wait, what Zong? What did you say? Is the dev team is what? I didn't.
sourced
hear
from
that.
Korea. like all the stuff,
Oh, yeah.
like all the bug fixes,
Well,
all the
okay, so like, but
Yeah.
like if you're talking about like we're talking about different ways to like work around Kishin, right? You have the link skill. That's not hard. All you do is copy paste the skill into a link skill, right? It's not like the dev team is that incompetent that they can't.
I
do that.
mean, you say that, but there's been a lot of things they've
That
had to copy
seems-
and paste that
seems
did not
like a
go
lot
very
of things can
well.
go wrong with that. I
Just
don't
when
know.
you think it couldn't get any worse, dude, they
It-
proved
it-
it.
but it's a literal copy paste. Like it
lot of
would
them.
function the
I
same
mean,
way.
but then they need to sort out what they're already doing with the original Kana link skill. I
Yeah.
feel like the overlap would just throw them off.
Yeah.
I have like
Well, no,
expectations
so
for
you
change
would
to
still
MapleStory
keep the
anymore.
damage buff for the Kana itself. Like it's kind of like mild,
mild.
right?
Two different ones. Yeah, yeah.
There tends to be a lot of oversight when they try and change things that are unique to a given server. Like, for example, right now, if you guys didn't know, the dojo rankings for Jets is actually the Dream Defender. And the Dream Defender rankings don't work. And I'm assuming that's because they have an index or something in the game that's like, okay, ranking number, 40 whatever is Dream Defender. But because we have an extra
Right.
class, that becomes Jets Dojo.
And to add on to that, there's also the weapon issue, right? Hayato and Kana are swapped right now.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
yeah, I actually went on a run with a Hayato and a Kana. And the Hayato got the weapon, and then the Kana got the Hayato weapon. It was just a big
Didn't
meme.
Why
someone
did
in
they
Pocket
just
Spy
trade?
Pocket didn't Niels
Well,
get a didn't Niels get a arcane katana? The Kana in Pocket's Will Party.
Yeah, he has an Absolab and Arcane of
He's really salty
Oh.
about it.
both.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
need to
keep
they
it
need to
and
fix
send a
that.
ticket, I think.
His ticket's been open for like a week or two now.
Okay, mine was open for a week and it got fixed today, dude. GM went on my account, gave me a new weapon box, and I got my box with potential now.
Mm.
There you
I
go.
got my,
Congratulations.
finally got my relay weapon with potential, boys. The system does work, kind of.
I had a mod that had
Kind
the same
of.
problem. They logged on to his account, gave him his box, and banned him for RMT.
Yo.
Yikes.
It's a system.
Wait, who is this?
Flipmans. Apparently it was a character on Scania, which he doesn't have anyone there. So
Wow.
the Nexon way.
Oh, I'm never dropping my earrings again. Oh.
Yeah, you didn't drop
Um,
him. I saw what happened.
So moving back
Don't lie.
to Kishin, so we've discussed a few possible solutions. So link skill and I know some people say like buff just the base spawn rate, but the thing with that is Korea would have to buff the base spawn rate, and then we would have to port it over, right? And I don't think they want to do that. What I was thinking was, what if they allow us to open a second client on one computer? I feel like that would solve a lot of issues.
Performance issues on certain PCs.
Yeah, but I mean, you have the option to do that, right?
Yeah.
It's
I feel like
given
I mean,
given how poorly MapleStory is optimized
Yeah,
as
the
a program, I think that might be.
I feel like it moves from needing two computers that are cheap to needing one computer that is the price of those two computers combined. So that doesn't
Ray
really.
tracing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just move the problem a little bit.
I mean, you could
sadly.
do a VM, but setting up a VM is a whole different story. Because then
Yeah,
you
what
need a
do we-
bunch of
what do we
Windows
think
licenses and
about
stuff.
Isn't
VMs,
that
because
technically
technically
against the terms of
VMs are
service?
against
I thought it
TOS,
was
you know.
but
VM, like,
do you look down on players that do use VMs? Because I have a few friends that do use VMs, and I still consider them to be legit.
Matt, what are
Matt.
you doing?
Well,
Delete them from your context.
God.
what do you guys think?
I-
I
VMs?
think banning people for using VMs is
Yo, whoops! I
ridiculous.
turned on my
honestly.
webcam by accident.
I feel like if you take the risk and you get banned, then it's on you. But,
but-
I don't blame them
Hmm.
for trying to use VPNs.
Yeah, I don't either.
What is the purpose for banning people
I
using
feel
VMs?
like, yeah, I do encourage the use of VMs though, just so they can kind of realize the problem with the game.
From what I can tell, the thing about VMs is that people used to create like multiple instances. And then there's a particular file in the MapleStory folder that like VMs typically have to block because their kernel is different.
Mhm.
So you have to enable a certain thing in the Windows kernel for
Yeah,
that
you
file to
do.
be compatible and run. But that runs into a different problem because MapleStory is single-threaded. So unless you have a really, really good single core, your computer's still gonna just be crap. I mean, just one Maple instance costs me like 70% of my RAM.
Mm.
So unless you want to get like 16 gigabytes of RAM, it's
Yeah,
not really gonna work
but going
out.
back to my question, do you look down on players that use VMs, like VM users?
No.
No?
I don't mind.
No?
I just tell people to be super careful and advise them not to, and if they do it, that they're at risk, basically. I do look down on people who use VMs to then use like shared accounts to help themselves, though, because that's like a double TOS infraction, so you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Is it helping themselves either way?
No, I mean, like, people have like accounts, like they have like a Kannas mule, and then everyone just basically uses it, and then you just log in through like TeamViewer or something to like, because that's like account sharing as well. So that's like that's like a whole other can of worms. I just advise people to just not do that at all.
I mean, realistically, there probably isn't. I mean, there's obviously a risk, but it's unlikely that they would find out unless someone directly reported you for using it. So.
Yeah, but it kind of goes into the realm, I feel like, as long as nobody finds out, you're good.
Yeah.
They could
I
find
don't
out.
really agree with that.
They could, for sure.
There's a person in my, I probably shouldn't say, but there's someone that I know who uses like VPNs and stuff, and
I think that's fine.
from what I can tell, he got banned because some hacker was also using the same VPN, and IP address, like it's the same IP address, so they can't really tell beyond that. But if a lot of people are using the same VM, then you might have like double the amount of points from the same IP, and that gets really.
There was a guy in our alliance who was playing on his university's IP. He got permanent bans because the university apparently had like X amount of hackers, and so they just banned the IP entirely.
Oh man!
So
like one guy manning like a whole computer class.
He might have been, honestly. Like,
you're scaring my ass now, right now.
But he got his account unbanned, but it was just funny because he obviously didn't do anything wrong, but there were just other people on the IP that were doing something wrong. So.
Damn.
But I'd say VM and VPN is still pretty different.
Yeah, they are, for sure.
Yeah.
Like if somebody runs a VPN, I mean, there's always like the people are like, well, I use a VPN for this very particular, very legitimate, but most people just use it to do funky shit. And I think we all know that, right? So it's like, why are you playing hidden online, you know? It's like, red flag.
Well, the other thing is if you're using a VM, I think you can like somehow mask your IP from that particular client. So that gets kind of
wouldn't know.
I think it's important to discuss what happens if Nexon decides to nerf Kishin or remove Kishin or just touch it, and they don't provide a replacement or something, alternative. Because like I feel like they only hear like the vocal minority on Reddit, and I'm pretty sure like most people that are complaining about Kishin don't have Kishin. So like I know a lot of players or a lot of in-game players, if they remove or nerf Kishin, a lot of people are gonna quit. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's just what's gonna happen.
Sure.
I feel like it's just going to kill the game, honestly, because not only does it ruin Reboot, but it also affects rank servers. Not everyone's going to drop money for a Frenzy Totem.
Yeah, it's hard because the game is technically, like, I mean, you can obviously make progress without Kishin, but now that we've had it for so many years, it's hard as a community to be like, hey, let's just not use it now. Because that's such a drastic drop.
Because when everyone's used to like a certain pace of like EXP rate or meso rate, and then you suddenly cut it into like 1/4. It's like, what?
Right.
I don't want to farm anymore. What? You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of outrage. A lot of people are going to cry. And the people who are already so Stockholm syndromed in are going to keep playing, and we're going to adapt, and we're going to find the next best in practice, and we're going to do that.
Why are you?
But is player base going to be sustainable for the game to even survive?
Look at Reboot.
Is this just for like removing Kishin? Like just simply
if they
removing
remove
it from the
Kishin
game?
and don't provide an alternative.
Oh, just don't do anything.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Maple.
Yeah, MapleStory. I'll see you there, man.
Yeah.
See party play on big maps again.
See, I got some alternatives. So
I think party play would actually be a much, like, welcomed.
There wouldn't be
Yeah.
enough mobs for a party play.
I mean,
You know what
yes,
happened before Kishin existed though? Everyone just hacked.
That's true.
Wild Hunter glitch, is it?
Yeah, Wild Hunter glitch.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
it's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Oh.
coming back.
I'm pretty sure it no longer works.
What were you saying, Kobe? You had an alternative?
So I think y'all are gonna hate this. 'Cause
Alright.
it's slower. But let's say theoretically Kishin was removed.
Time to kill Kilby.
We would have to follow the pattern of what KMS Reboot does for money.
Mhm.
Which
Now
is-
they can make some decent rates in game. And by decent, I mean like 300, 400 mil an hour. I wouldn't say that's too bad. I mean, that's for you guys to consider. But anyway, early game would, instead of just making a call on a meal, what they usually do is they pretty much start off Legion right off the bat. They get their characters to be at least 150, decently strong, and they run bosses on it every single day on top of doing Ursus. It's a bigger time investment, probably rack up less money, but that's probably just how the money making process goes early game. Now, when it comes to in game, for when you're like farming drop-ins and whatnot, I feel like that needs to be buffed. But that's all I have to say. Because
So
So
The
basically,
equivalent
they
of being
just
boss
boss.
mules.
They boss for
yeah, they just
the Memos.
boss
That's it.
pretty
Right.
much. At least early game they do.
Just do what I do, man.
I'm surprised that people on there even have arcane weapons with how much you need to farm
I
droplets
think the
for
problem is
on that server.
GMS Reboot, if it started off like that without Kishin in the first place, no one would have had a problem. But now everyone's just used to meso farming directly, that this would be like a severe blow
No,
to their meta.
people would have had a problem. They would have just demanded it into Reboot.
Yeah, because Kishin's
Uh,
been
if
a
Kishin
skill
had
for,
never
for
existed in the
years.
first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been out for like
Yeah, like
well,
you can't miss what you don't have, right?
yeah.
Right.
Right.
So
Like Kishin became 1 second
yeah, if
respawn
GMS Reboot
in
never started out with
December
Mason like that, it
2013,
would-
so it's
yeah.
been here for like 4.5 years. plus.
Kishin has opened
really?
up a ton of
Kishin?
Yes.
problems in this game. Makes me wonder if the same amount of people would still be playing even if Kishin wasn't a thing. If it just never existed.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I'd probably say I'd say not. Say far less people would be playing right now.
I agree, actually.
By the way,
You
about the
guys-
Kishin thing, if they get rid of it completely, they're gonna have to cut the Star Force cost in half again, which makes normal servers get a little bit, you know.
They're not
They're
gonna do
already
that.
dying for Mesa,
Please,
That's
Guys,
not
guys,
gonna happen.
guys, Pocket is gonna speak.
Oh,
Oh, I was just wondering, which one of you guys were here when Kana was introduced in Kishin? Like, what was that like? I guess.
On release, Kana came out in like 2012, I think, and
I don't
all it
remember.
did on release was increase the number of mobs. So that's how it was
Rockies
for.
was really good. Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
affect the spawn rate at all. It only started affecting the spawn rate, like the respawn rate, Red Patch, which was December 2013. That's when, like I became high rank on my bro
I
character.
wasn't around for any of that.
also,
So
like
Red Patch hit,
Jack mentioned,
and then respawn rate went from like it was like 5 or 10 seconds to 1 second respawn,
too.
and it was
Yeah.
pretty busted. And that's how it was up until like
It also did like,
like a couple years ago.
It was-
when they
it was
nerfed
really
it.
noticeable.
2 times 5. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
how long was the
Uh,
pre-kish state was available for? Song.
Sorry, what was that?
pre-kish?
Oh
Remember
yeah,
the
so
pre-kish
like
state
they
was?
like
Oh, frenzy kish.
weren't maps like Kish glitched, right?
Yeah.
They were
Oh,
they
yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
glitched. They were glitched until a server maintenance.
Mhm.
Yep.
So as
I
long as you
miss that
cast that
glitch so
still in
much.
in the map. Yeah,
I
like,
That's
it was-
another
It was so
solution.
It was so
good.
convenient.
Another solution is just glitch Kishin again. Can we just bring that back? That was so nice.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah, that would be
That
great.
sounds very
Glitch
TOS
maps.
friendly.
If
It
you
was great
Kishin the
because
map,
after every server maintenance,
yeah, if you
every
Kishin the
Reddit
map, it
thread
would
was
stay Kishined until the next maintenance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was
There are a lot
so-
of Kannas who actually
so
want to
nice.
do that. Like, just have a service every Monday, you know, kiss every map. Very bored of
Well,
their time.
I don't know. It's like I feel like to remove Kishin and just buff the spawn rate. You know, I feel like that's like the most like this is really
Yeah, but that has to come from
simplest
Korea.
answer.
Yeah.
I know it does, of course, but
Like,
like
it has
I
to
feel
happen
like
in
instead-
KMS fast.
instead of making it no, it doesn't. I disagree with that.
You-
I mean, the whole
Debate.
I think the reason he's saying it would have to happen in KMS is because the only way that we would ever remove Kishin is if we were moving more towards just being a clone of KMS. And if that's the case, then we're definitely not going to have something unique anymore, as opposed
Yeah,
to KMS.
but we have all of these extra things in the game that set us apart from KMS. So we're never going to become exactly like KMS.
That's true, but they've also been removing them for like the last 5 months. So
Yeah, I mean,
Are we segueing into the new top?
Yeah, that's a good
I'd be fine
segue.
with segueing.
Good turn.
Recent decisions that
Because-
seem to make GMS more like KMS. Are they good? Are they bad? What do you think?
I think
what-
we should stay different.
Yes.
I mean, there's been different things, right? There's been the addition of
I like
Flames and
'em.
25 stars. I think that was a positive change. They removed Mr. Lee's airline, which I know a lot of people are
That was a
unhappy
little
about.
sudden, I would say. That was like just during live randomly, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They-
the
Wait,
problem
we-
existed before.
Why they removed that?
All because of a glitch people abused in lab. It was posted on Reddit. They got publicity. They saw it. They removed the content, and now it's gone.
But the experience wasn't even that good.
It was actually pretty
people were leveling like really fast until like what was it, like 150 or something like that.
150s. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but I mean, I heard from
so,
people
like,
who
think
tried
about-
it and
think
who
about
tried
it-
without
think
it.
about
and
it
was
this way,
pretty
right?
similar.
Even with like a 2x event and the 3x coupon, you're not using Kishin at all, and you're getting to 150 in like an hour. Like that's kind of busted.
With your second job
But that's
skills,
just
you didn't even need
specifically for
anything.
lab, right? It had nothing to do with any of the other servers.
The
Was it
glitch
so
existed.
busted that
probably
Mr.
was
Lee's
in
could be
red, too.
removed?
But would
Yeah,
it even be worth exploiting in regular servers?
Probably. I
Probably
mean, in the
would.
past it was because it existed for a while and they patched it. Apparently, it had come back during a lab patch, and that's why they freaked out because
I
they
see.
thought they fixed it and then it happened again.
That's why we're gonna
Mm.
get 30-minute reset time between CRA entries, right?
So why couldn't they repatch it instead of just removing the content?
Probably
I think he knows
because
the
they
answers
didn't
to
feel
that.
like it was worth the effort.
They're working on the black patch, I would assume, right now. They don't have time to work on like other miscellaneous things.
I think it's the same reason we now have occult cubes in reboot. They
Ooh,
kept,
that makes
they kept blocking them
weird.
out every single patch, and they kept coming back and trying to get back in, and eventually they just gave up, and now we have occult cubes. I don't know if you guys remember, but they were like
Now
6
everyone has
patches
occult
in a row.
Yep.
Yeah, Cold Cubes and Flames have always just been in there, just hiding,
Yep.
sticking out a little bit every now and then.
What
Mhm.
happened
Now
to
they're finally out.
the value of occult cubes in non-reboot? It went from like 25 mil to 20k
Oh man,
or
can't you
something.
buy like
It's like-
3,000 for like 20 mil or something like
Yeah.
that?
Damn.
I was looking like because I use my reward points on cubes in Bera every month, and I was like
Mhm.
checking the auction house, whatever it's called. I was like, oh, 25 mil for an occult cube, that's nice. And then I look back after everything started dropping like 16 occult cubes, and now it's like 20k. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
They're basically worthless now.
yeah.
So
Are there any
It's only
other
epic
changes
anyways.
that they've done recently, or not even recently, that
um,
have made us close the KMS?
So what did we already talk about? Flames?
removed Nebs.
Flames
added
25
Oh,
stars.
removed
Mr.
was
Lee's.
Nebs.
Badges.
Badges.
Yeah.
do we want to talk about
Common
Yeah, we can
level
talk about
stuff.
the hypothetical badge removal.
Wait, what about
So-
the Oh no. Well,
Okay,
they did
so,
the whole like
They capped Sweetwater, but that, I mean, it's debatably making us more like KMS.
They also capped the 22-star badge, so
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like they're not gonna really get rid of it.
yeah, like why?
Might
That's
23
so
stars,
weird
dude.
though.
That
Like, why
is
cap it
extremely
at
strange.
22? Like, where did that come from? That idea? It's because like people already have 22-star badges.
no, they
but,
did
feel
that
like-
because it was badges were bugged and they don't give attack from stars.
Right, yeah, I
so
know
the
that.
only thing you get past 22 stars anyways is attack,
stat.
meaning they were giving nothing past that star.
Yeah.
I think
That's why
They
they
don't
were-
get
what's
set
weird
anymore
to me
past 22.
is like that entire
Oh, the
Maple
last
memo.
3 stars.
right.
Yeah. It's
Wait.
just attack. Yeah.
Because the entire Maple memo was like, we're removing the last 3 stars, but I don't think, like, of the people that do have 22-star badges, I don't think anyone was thinking of 23-starring. So,
I haven't. My
Seriously,
24
no.
star got rolled
have you
back.
seen
I'm
those
really
rates?
upset.
3% chance. Yeah, he's gonna...
Oh.
Oh,
Hey.
oh, fine,
Hi,
never.
Jeff.
Hello,
What's up?
Mr.
The gang's
Jeff.
all here. What's
What?
up, everybody?
Wait,
Oh,
who
we
just
lost
Whoa,
someone.
whoa.
Oh,
Whoa,
Uh,
whoa,
whoa,
back.
Whoa.
what's happening?
big shuffle.
Watched it.
Oh,
Oh my,
beautiful.
everyone's a different location
Asymmetrical.
now. Oh.
I see my camera like flickering.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Looks fine to me.
Mr. Jeff, would you
yeah,
like to
looks fine,
introduce yourself to those that don't know you?
Hi.
Is it
Hello,
Jeff?
I'm Jeff. I also play Illuminous like Zong.
Oof.
I'm a tad a bit weaker. Otherwise, yeah, I just do dailies, the usual stuff on Maple. That's about it.
What's your Twitch channel?
Twitch.tv/Perhapsody. I guess I'll plug since you asked.
You just joined during the juiciest. Oh wait, you missed Kishin. Never mind. We're talking about GMS becoming closer to KMS with the recent changes.
Okay.
Have you guys talked about the 275 thing yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, that
A
was
little
the last
bit,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And PetVac?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the consensus in that, by the way?
Two fascinating words about GMS becoming like KMS.
Okay.
I think we would all like pet back, but we don't
I think
expect
Zong
it
knows
to really
what
happen.
words are. Says there might be a
Fair enough.
penalty if I said them. If it were to so happen with specific potions in the game, and they don't really do much to your damage.
Mm. Yeah, let's not go into that.
Wink, wink.
I'm confused.
The topic
Cryptic.
that must not be spoken.
Oh, I see. I understand.
So we
I
we,
also
we touched
understand.
on Mr. Lee's. We touched on Flames and 25 stars. We touched on. Oh, we were talking about the hypothetical badge removal. So if you aren't aware, Awu popped into PocketStream yesterday and asked a very suspicious question that we're all very scared about.
Wait, what is
Does
this?
anyone have the screenshot?
At hands.
Let me pull it up actually, because I think I saved it.
Hypothetically, what if Sengoku and Ghost Ship badges didn't exist?
Yikes.
Mm.
Why am I
Hypothetically,
doing
of
this
course.
event right now?
Why was I asleep
Why would
during
you
this?
ask that?
What? Alright.
I posted the link in the Discord chat if you want to open it up on stream.
Pocket, was there something we were missing in your stream? Was it something you said?
Yeah, it's like how did like was that just like a random comment
Well,
or like what were you
for-
talking about at the
To
time?
give some history to this, the last 2 times that Aru has asked hypothetical questions, the first time
They weren't
was
very
removing
hypothetical.
Nebs, which then got removed. The second time was capping Sweetwater at 15 stars, which then got capped. So this
Well,
is
no,
the third
but this,
hypothetical he's asked.
what did
but
you
this
say?
happened in Pocket Stream, so like I'm
Yeah.
just curious as to like what led to that comment.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, is there any context before that statement?
Not really. He just popped up, said.
Oh god.
That's the
was,
first thing he said.
No, he said he was happy that we were having this. Wait, what is this called again?
Podcast.
Podcast.
What
And,
am I on?
And he just brought that up pretty much. Not too much to prompt it. Somewhat random.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think?
Hypothetically.
That would be a huge disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people would be upset about that. Like again, it's something that we don't have, compared to Korea. And I don't know, is it Korea mad at us? Like, are the players angry at us that we're stronger than them now? Like,
I think it's
I-
probably more to do with them wanting to cut down on development costs for GMS. Like the more
Is
they
it
make
just
it
like-
the same
like
as
just
KMS, the less they
discrepancies
have to
between-
do.
all right, so just literally make it a clone, right?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Can I
basically.
interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
Zong, apparently your stream is a little too quiet for some people. I don't
Is
know
it?
if you can turn that up. Yeah.
It's maxed.
People can't like turn it up.
Wait, who's
anymore.
quiet? Let me know who's
No,
quiet.
like your,
and I'll
your
turn them
entire
up.
stream. Everything. Yeah.
I
Right.
have it muted, so I don't know.
I think it's okay.
Okay. No,
What
carry
is
on.
fuck?
Sorry.
Everyone?
Everyone.
Really?
Everyone. Like the.
Pocket's too quiet.
No, it's just
Pocket,
someone-
be louder.
Alright, Chad, I got a solution. Turn up your volume.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, just turn it up.
Have you tried a full shutdown in your computer?
Oh boy.
I can turn
Before it
myself
increases
down.
your
How about that?
volume.
All right.
I agree with Austin. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. They have a pretty small team, so the more of the content that comes from that, like inadvertently comes from KMS, they have to readjust before implementing it. Just costs more resources, and which they simply don't have. And I want to give a little bit of a doomsday scenario, because do you think they're just gonna remove the Ghost Ship Exorcist badge, or just that area altogether?
You think they're gonna remove like Gollux then?
If they
Well, that's
remove
what
the
someone in
entire
the
So,
area,
said
so like,
earlier.
you
Don't
think that they
think
might
so?
remove like Singapore and Malaysia, like just
I-
all like that whole
And
content?
Ghost Ship, yeah, like that, the whole part.
That's a
yeah.
bad change.
that
That's a
would-
ridiculously.
I don't
think
think
they
it-
might do that.
destroy early game and reboot.
That
Like,
is
how-
not good.
Yeah.
Okay, but they don't know their game. So I got contacted by the GM to ask. No, but legitimately, like in the blue pots on Kinesis aside, I got asked by a GM if he could like log out, if I could log out so that he could go on my character,
Mhm.
and I said, I just got an MVP buff, dude. Like, priorities here. Like, I know you're a GM and everything, but I've got an MVP buff. And he said it'll only take 2 minutes. And I'm like,
Ugh.
dude, if I log off, it's
That's another
gone. Like,
topic
they
of
don't know
discussion.
this.
Well,
keep
but
the
they
bugs.
don't know
Know
these
these basic things, you know.
because
how
customer
is this
support
relevant?
is outsourced. So
Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it's like,
I thought you were
So
going to
someone
segue into
was
something else.
contacting
If we
support
follow
was
that
like-
same line of logic that they're only removing stuff to make it easier to program, then they would remove the entire area. Because
Yeah, that's kind of what
not
I'm
in
afraid of.
KMS.
I mean, there's
So
two things to
whenever-
be known here about software development in general. The first thing is like when you're developing code in an agile environment, it's whatever is most important, like whatever is a top priority to actually making the product work. So I don't think it's that they're going to do anything to anything unless it breaks, right? Like what happened to Mr. Lee's. And number two,
but Mr. Lee's didn't break. I mean,
well,
like,
in their
well,
eyes, like
it
there's a
did.
bug, right? So then
Yeah.
they
Y'all
have to-
remember when
they have to
Mr.
fix
Lee's
it,
first
so-
came out and the EXP was ridiculous?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Blaze
And
was
they
there,
fixed
yeah.
that like close
Yeah.
to
It
immediately.
was
Yeah.
Blazewood release, right, or something like that.
Yeah, revamp.
Yeah,
revamp.
Revamp.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And then the second thing
yeah.
is like it's how much money they'll cost to actually fix that bug versus removing it.
resources.
And when you're actually programming in C, I mean, it's a horrible thing to program. So I commend the developers every day because it's just horrendous. But
Yeah, do not want to look at the code. of
it's
MapleStory.
also just like, do they actually want to do that to themselves? Which I honestly, if I was in their shoes, I would probably remove it, just from like
I-
painful points. It's
I think Mr. Lee's wasn't as crucial as Singapore in general, so the backlash would be too great for them to remove it.
Yeah.
Unless there's a
Yeah.
really good reason to. There's
Yeah.
no way that they can justify it.
Going
mean,
back
all I know is-
to
Crimson would keep.
just badge removal, like I
Mhm.
don't see I don't see a good way they could do it, because if they remove all the badges that people currently have, I mean, people have invested money, and how are they going to compensate for that?
Yeah, that's a good
people
point.
have spent however much
right,
in X
so-
on cubes and B
So
cubes
let's
and
talk about that
scrolls.
a little bit.
Thing is, they had a really good compensation with net removal. I like what they
Mm.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you,
Um,
what would you think? Well, if you guys have any ideas, what would you think would be a proper compensation for removing Sengoku and Ghost Ship from the game? Or I guess let me rephrase that. Is there potentially anything they could give us to compensate for that? Let's
I
say that
honestly
out there.
can't think of a single thing. Like, I mean, I can
Neither
think of
I.
a value in my head that I'm like, yeah, that would be
Alright,
okay,
let's-
but
I've
there's
got
no
a
way they're gonna
number in
do
my
that.
head.
Yeah.
Well,
give me
So, like,
give me 1 million NX and I'm fine with it. But
It's like people.
I feel like it would
think
depend
it's
on the
possible.
item's star force and
Red
potential.
pots.
Yeah, if you're talking about like damage compensation, if you add like stars and potential to it, like a pocket item, but I don't see that happening. Otherwise, you would just lose the damage altogether from
It would
removing
be a
badges.
permanent damage
Same
loss
as
to
the-
everyone. So
Yeah.
everyone who's like struggling to clear bosses, like hard lucid right now, like
Time
Yeah.
to move to that good old
tough
monster
luck,
part.
gotta get stronger. Yeah.
I've got it, guys. I've got it. You can take all the stars that your badge has and just add them to any other item.
I would be fine with that.
Wait a minute.
I would be fine with that.
Just get it to 22, throw 22 extra stars on your weapon.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, just
Whatever
make
gets
it
us
39
satisfaction.
stars.
Yeah, 39 stars. Yeah.
Alright, I see
Show me the
someone in the
group.
chat mentioned Orchid Badge. Like, give us the. I think Orchid Badge. It's not available in Reboot though, which is the thing. But I believe it gave you the ability to ignore DR.
What the
It's
hell?
actually
in TMS?
it just cancels statuses in general.
Okay.
Like both on you and on bosses. So it's basically like a -3-second status neb,
Okay.
and you can
Yo.
remove DR.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah,
broken.
but that wouldn't be like. I guess they would have to introduce in Reboot too, because it wouldn't be available in Reboot. All you like, you would just be stuck with a Crystal Ventus badge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crystals, yeah. Until Black Mage, right? I think the main reason is because they want to make the Black Mage badge actually relevant when it comes out and not be
Right.
overshadowed by an old item.
Right.
I think that's probably
That's
the
the-
largest reason they're doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was probably the main reason why they kept Sweetwater, because they wanted to make arcane gear relevant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which they
I
kinda
still
have to.
have personal qualms with their decision there, but yeah.
Me too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh my god, here we go.
Like,
If they're gonna get rid of badges, though,
Right.
they're also gonna look at totems.
But
And
yeah,
Frenzy comes
compensation.
in.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how they're ever
Totems
gonna
and codex.
compensate that.
Yo,
like-
you know what I kind of want to just touch upon really quickly here, like with Sweetwater, how like they have like really shitty flames, but they drop from bosses. Can we talk about how Gold Richie's handkerchief gives boss flames, but where the fuck is Gold Richie in the game?
Yep.
in my
Yeah.
inventory.
Don't touch
dude,
my
that's where-
handkerchief, man. Goddamn.
Missed that event.
No, man, you're gonna get
Like-
nerfed.
Bro, like
Well, you see, Golden Richie was actually a secret boss in KMS for a little bit
Was it
around like the
actually?
release of Red.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it was.
Ooh.
I'm also kidding.
Oh, you got me.
Say it.
Oh,
No,
baited.
like,
baited,
Oh,
dude.
Go with this
really?
secret
no,
knowledge.
but
Yeah.
I trusted
Gold
you,
Richie
Cody.
used to be
Come
a
on.
thing though.
Debated.
Like, wasn't Gold Richie a thing in Monster Park?
I thought he was just an NPC. I don't know if he was like a boss or anything though.
There was
No,
an
I
I
event,
thought it was
right?
just an event.
Yeah, wasn't there an event where
I
you
thought it was more so an event. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like a
really
golden
remember
thing,
where
wasn't
Golden
it?
Richie came from. To be
Wasn't it
honest.
like after the
There's
hunters?
like monsters running around. You could kill them and they would
Yeah,
drop
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't
He
that
was
Yeah,
just in the
it's part-
background.
like,
It's
encouraging-
Okay,
a
so,
boss
like-
item.
Yeah, no, but Monster Park used to have an extra stage. You remember that? Like when you killed like the
Yeah,
yeah,
rhino?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
very
Yeah, and
similar
I-
to the Gold Richie stage, but it was
Yeah, yeah, that was
yeah.
Gold Richie. I thought that was.
No, that was Spiegelman in the background, but it was very similar to the Gold
Yeah,
Richie
it's
event when it
very-
was out.
Yeah.
It was very
Okay.
similar.
We kind of
Basically,
derailed a
it was
little bit.
like a copy of it.
Going back to badges, given that no one can come up with decent compensation, like even
No.
like
I like the idea of just putting the
hypothetical
stars on a different item.
What what if instead of removing all
Decided
the
to-
existing badges, they just discontinued? So like they removed it from the Sengoku shop and like they like discontinued the
Well,
quest line.
I don't think that's fair for
I think
I
that's
know.
worse.
players.
Yeah.
I know, but like,
Yeah.
what if like what would be the implications of that? Like it would kind of
I'm just gonna drop one word in here. One droid.
I was also thinking that. Oh my god.
Wait, so what about OneDroid?
Well, I mean, if you have one,
People
right?
didn't think it was
it's-
going to
you
come
can't
back
buy
at
it
all.
again, and
Yeah.
it's never coming back.
yeah. But
apparently.
the thing with that is,
So
it's an event. If you miss the event, then I mean tough luck. But
Sengoku's
is
the same
like-
thing.
Yeah, Sengoku is also.
I mean Sengoku, yes, but it's like a seasonal event, right? It comes back, once or twice a year.
Mhm.
But Sengoku
But
High
I mean,
and
if you
Maple
don't
High
have the
would-
Sengoku badge, there is an alternative in the Ghost Ship Exorcist, right? You can just go
Well,
do
if
that
they
quest
removed
line.
both, then
If they
there
remove
wouldn't be-
both, then I mean, players that don't have
Ventus is,
either
like, the only one,
are
right? You know.
pretty screwed, right?
Yeah.
They just can't do it. Like they'll just miss one item, basically.
In my opinion, that's a worse compromise. Just discontinuing both of them because that it makes a larger gap between newer players and
Mm.
players that already had those things. So, as
But
much
do
as
you
I
think
want to, as much as I want to keep my own badge, I
Yeah.
think that's a bad option.
But do you think they're specifically saying we're gonna remove Sengoku badges, or we're just not gonna do Sengoku High anymore?
We don't know the details. I think.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, it's
Maple
just a
Leaf High
hypothetical.
This is just
question.
a
last
hypothetical.
time.
Like, all we have
The hy-
is one
the
message
Aru
from
special.
Awu in Pocket Stream
Yeah.
chat. That's it.
But that's cool, dude. That gets the. But we skipped Maple Leaf High last time. It should have been like around the end of May, and we completely skipped it. We went
Maple
from
Leaf High
Sengoku
doesn't
to
really-
Sengoku again.
Give you
Did we-
much.
It's only
It
for the
doesn't really
emblem.
matter. Like
Yeah,
it does come back.
yeah.
It's come back a
It's a
couple
little
times now.
honorable emblem.
It's like 3 attack. It's not,
Yeah,
not the
it's
big
minimal
deal.
gains.
I mean, it's not even a gain for me as a DA, but I'm just saying we skipped it. Like it should have been around May, but then we had a lot of events going on, and we just completely skipped over it. Like,
What
is
about-
that
I thought I
coming
remember
back,
it
or-
happening not that long ago.
The point is, like, most events do come back eventually, right? Like, even Wondroid, there was a
Eventually,
season
yeah.
2. So,
Yeah.
who knows? There could be a
Yeah.
season 3. Well, we just have to wait and
I
see.
no, I
Could
think
come
I
back in
think
February.
they're definitely gonna bring back Wondroid.
Yeah, when was it? February, March, something like that.
But,
I think it's season 1 and 2 were both not developed by GMS. So all we could really do is hope that an overseas server develops season 3, and then they get it, so that we can get it shortly after.
All right, I'll start learning Japanese. Thank you very much. By the way, Pocket, you're kind of quiet.
What do you guys think about Lab Server then? Do you think that's gonna come
Who's
back?
farming, dude?
I feel like they should bring it back at least one more time.
Lab
Yeah.
server?
Should be
It's
worth
an
it.
event that
I'd like to see a
I-
return of.
No,
of Lab
I
server.
mean they said it would return, but I mean they said Crimson would keep. You know, would
I'm
return.
still mad about
Oh
that,
my
by the
God.
way.
Too
Give
soon,
me back
Brad,
Crimson
too
would keep.
soon.
Well, for
Uh,
something like Lab, if they said it will return for something like Lab, I'm pretty sure it will return. I feel like for Crimson Wood Keep, they're just too lazy to fix it. If it's been this long.
I mean, but wouldn't just like re-releasing it if they don't want to fix it, just give it back to us? Like it wasn't broken. You know, like,
Alright, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I have no idea what was wrong with Crimson Wood Keep and why they closed it. I don't think I've ever done that before.
I think
I
it
love that
was
PK.
because it was
Zeus
just
cheese balls.
outdated, right? Like you could just like breeze through it, you know, because the game got a lot stronger and that
Yeah, everyone
content was
upscaled
just
it.
really weak.
Didn't they give the same excuse they gave for, like, Florida Beach when they closed Florida Beach? They were like, yeah, we're gonna
I
close
don't
it.
remember
then-
when they closed.
And then
Reach,
we're
to be
gonna
honest.
bring it back. I mean, to be fair, they did say that with Omega Sector, and they did revamp Omega Sector. So maybe 5
I
years
think
down.
Florina
the
Beach
line,
has only
I
been
don't
gone
know.
for like 7
Maybe
years.
they'll bring it back one day.
If
but-
y'all not talking Neo City, I don't want to talk.
I missed that.
Dude, I have
How long
PTSD
has it
from
been
that
since
area,
Neo
dude.
City?
By the
got
way, just a trivia fact. They said Florina Beach and the other place got closed because Black Mage chains were around it.
Yeah.
So once he's killed,
Oh.
Oh, bring it back to the
Then we have to call
lore.
them out. Nexon, give us back
Oh, the
Florida Beach.
tieback.
Give us back.
The Black Mage is gone. Why are the chains still there?
It'll just be Darmur's change at that point.
Oh my.
Oh man. Oh,
Black
instead
Mage
of
passes the
chains,
deed.
it would be like just like I don't know, like beams of light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be like Ilium skills, basically.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
So what
fun.
were we talking about?
I mean, we're on badge
I'm
removal.
working my way back mentally. Hang on.
We can.
Trying.
So we were talking about, like, the Maple memo. We can address, like, the other recent Maple memos. I don't know. I feel like most of them. Well, I think there's been 3 recently, and they've all been basically the same thing. Just balance.
This thing
is
broke,
there.
so we're removing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, is
Yeah, the
that
past
thing?
couple memos have been pretty bad. I
It
think,
was
yeah,
hold on. So
past
there
one
was
badges.
those badges, and then Mr. Lee's, and then what was that before that? The Sweetwater's. I
Captain
think?
Vaga or
Sweetwater.
Oh, just kidding.
Water?
Captain Vaga. Sweetwater.
No,
I don't
no.
even know. Something. I don't know, dude.
No, that one did get closed because there was an exploit that was giving people like
Oh, yeah,
really,
yeah.
really
No, I
broken.
think that one was fake. That one was like.
I think someone on Reddit made an iron.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's our post.
Yeah.
I like that
Wait,
one.
It's not Captain Vagia?
We're pulling up right here. Alright.
oh my god.
We got a Maple memo here. We got hearing a lot of feedback in regards to the implementation of flames and bonus stats. Blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
Where is it? Control F balance. Some of these items may potentially disrupt the balance of equipment and power and overall satisfaction with many other content available in MapleStory. What does that
I
mean?
would like to hear Matt's
they have a really good way of
What does
words.
that mean?
strong opinions on this, Matt.
I think Austin has a very strong opinion on that, right? We were
I
talking
have
about it for a
an
while.
extremely strong
for it.
opinion on that. On
Go for it,
you want me to go for it?
Yeah,
You
go
want me
for
to
it.
talk
Go
about
for it.
Sweetwater right now? Is that what?
Start the rant, dude.
I
Popcorn,
think
yeah.
they botched that extremely because even if you let Sweetwater go to 22 stars, it's still worse than Arcane. That's the short version.
Wait, I'm lost. What?
What's the long version?
The long version is my YouTube video where I did a bunch
Oh,
of
the
spreadsheet math
spreadsheet one?
about stuff
Yep.
no one cares about. Yeah.
Is this
Alright, so-
transposing and then 22 starring?
Yeah. So it's transposing 15-star tyrants, then getting them to 22.
Oh, gotcha.
Wow.
You already advertised
Wait,
your channel
that's
once,
worse
dude,
than
and then they
Arcane?
do it twice.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to plug.
No, it's fine, it's
okay.
fine.
I'm just still like really upset about the fact that like Sweetwater and Galix just don't get proper boss flames
Yeah.
because they're clearly from bosses.
Bosses, right.
What constitutes a boss item, Nexon?
I
think it's just like they're just too lazy. They don't want to.
Yo,
Yeah,
that
no
was from a boss,
consistency.
a
it's
Chaos
too lazy.
Hotel pendant,
True.
and that doesn't get boss flames.
Yeah.
I really don't know what the whole even I don't know what the whole split thing is between boss flames and non-boss flames.
Hey, what is this set
There are
called
items
again?
and bosses that can get boss flames.
What
and
was that pocket?
items that just can't. So
But again, it's just too many inconsistencies.
They
Like
should lay it down, right? What is a boss item versus non-boss item? Clearly, so
I feel like they don't even know that.
There's a list of boss
I don't
items
think they do.
online.
I don't think they know that.
To be fair, though,
Exclamation mark
KMS
flames
isn't
in my
none of
channel,
that
second
either.
link, boys.
Yeah.
Boss item.
No, I'm saying like
Chaos
even-
Venom
I'm not
hats
I'm
and
not I'm not
Pointer
I'm not
and
talking about
stuff.
like the GMS team right now. I'm just talking about like just KMS doesn't even know what the fuck a boss item is.
Did you
Oh,
say
they're just
Deathloop?
not. We're just gonna give that you just like pick. It's like
Yeah, choose random.
Oh no, Sweetwater.
Yeah.
Chaos Hotel pendant is in the boss accessory set, but not a boss item.
Right? And it's but Dominator pendant, the Mechanator pendant can get like proper flames, but we skipped Torrent. Oh, oops.
Oops.
I think it's
Oops.
exactly what Matt said. They just picked items to be on the boss list, and those can get flames. Because there is a list published online somewhere about that, but other
Yeah.
than that, like Sweetwater's not even in KMS, so they're not
No.
going to be on the list,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks
I-
because they are from those Sweetwater bosses.
Right. I think the reason they didn't get put in the list is because the KMS devs don't know how to code that, or not. I mean, the GMS devs.
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
GMS don't.
I used the Eternal Flame on my Superior Pendant. I got +2 jump.
Nice.
PogChamp. I wish I could get +2. I only have +1.
Damn, dude, I got -5 level.
But I
Well,
really think
I-
they should just go back and just like address that.
Yeah.
I feel
Sengoku-
like
Sengoku gear.
that's a pretty big issue. You know.
Seems like a boss, right? Renmaru seems like a boss to me.
So I want to go
What's
back
like a
to
boss? Smells
something
like a
that Matt
boss.
said about like when you first start talking about Sweetwater Golix, that Nexon is lazy. I want to address that because do you think that Nexon NA is lazy, or do you think that they aren't able to make their own decisions based on like community feedback? Like I don't
I think
think
it's
they're not
probably-
listening to us. I think it's do you think that they are like being dictated by what Korea is saying or telling them to do?
I think it's probably the latter. I don't think they have much choice.
Shackled.
Because yeah, we like I know Matt's said we have to obey the Korean overlords.
I have a
Um,
theory that KMS is being controlled by CMS devs.
yeah, because it feels like everything that happens,
141.
like everything negative that happens, I feel like we just don't have any power over, like as a community. Like we can't say
Yeah.
no, we don't want this. Like, do you remember drop rate nerf was
Well,
introduced in KMS?
I feel like
Nobody,
I feel like
everyone was like,
some things...
"Do not bring drop rate nerf," and what happened?
Right,
oh,
right, right,
oh,
right.
we're gonna drop,
But-
bring it anyway.
But I
Sorry.
feel like
Go ahead.
some content, like some changes that are made, are made from a like, not from like the devs point of view, but from like higher up, like a corporate
Yeah.
say.
So
you know?
office politics, essentially.
Yeah, it's politics. Like some decisions, like let's for example, like so the drop rate nerf, they haven't addressed that in over a year now, right? That was probably like a move by higher
Their
ups
execs,
and
yeah.
not the devs thoughts. Like they had basically no say,
Yeah. I think
Is
again it
everyone
goes
gonna-
back to the
I
cost.
can see that, yeah.
right?
It's
Has everyone
all
done-
like I
done
feel like at the end of
math
the day, it's
on-
all about fucking. Sorry, it's all about politics. I'm
Wait,
trying
you
to. I'm
think so?
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm trying not to curse.
No, it's fine. You can guess if you want to. It's not a PG podcast.
I don't know if you're gonna upload this to YouTube, you're gonna have to go oof every time.
Dave is gonna have his butt cut out.
A crow sound.
Yeah, considering Arwood might advertises, you never know.
Yeah.
Get that dolphin chirp from SpongeBob. Just overlay it. Everything.
So yeah. So I think some decisions at the end of the day boil down to politics, and again, us as players, like we're extremely vocal and very heated about certain things, but I don't think Sweetwater and Galix is political. I think that they're just a little bit too lazy on that.
Yeah, I think they're using it as basically
An excuse. Yeah.
I think they went to. I feel like I'm shilling now, but it kind of feels like they want to take the items that are so clearly objectively best in slot and not boost them too hard so that things get like closer together so people have more options. I mean, it feels kind of like a cop out, but I would wish that in general there would be a way more open meta. I hate that there's like one list and there's like you can get this equipment set and then work towards this one and then work towards this one and then that one is the end game, but you probably not
Yeah.
get this one, so aim for this one. Like I like the system, for example, like if you open up your codex, I don't know if you guys remember, but you have like a list where it says like type of monster and it says like mammal or demon or stuff like that. Like, I would wish for like a whole set of items or weapons to be like, hey, you do like plus 50% damage to demons, so that people can go like in a completely different tree of item specialization and be like, hey, this map is kind of worse and the monsters are really strong, but if I go into this gear, I can actually adequately train here and it's like a proper alternative, and I'm completely out of the other meta, but I can still participate in the whole game.
Could
Like, I
you
hate that they
imagine
never-
how many
Right.
different like bossing weapons you would have to make if bosses were like
Yeah.
classified
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
different?
Oh god.
It's like
be like
like it's
classes-
like
classes don't obey
Mechoroid
or
and it's like
something.
demon
Yeah.
and it's like butterfly.
Yeah, no, but then for bosses, you could do like an exception for bosses, but I mean like monsters for
bring the
grinding and
bats.
stuff, because like the meta is literally like these 3 maps, and then everything else is like bad.
Right. Yeah. No. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like,
maybe
I
it's
feel like
for
there's so many
Pokemon?
different ways to like open the items with the dragonic items, right? All of those were like, I feel like a very good step in that direction, but they never went all the way. I think the only thing people still use is like the dragonic dragon katara, because it's like a really good alternative until you get like Sweetwater or something.
Yeah.
But apart from that, no one else uses any of those. But they give like critical rate, critical damage, which is really good. And they do like extra damage to certain monsters, but it's not enough to create any kind of incentive. But I feel like also there's like a bunch of stuff that people just don't know until maybe in a stream, or like how long ago was it where people thought angelic bosses were just weeb characters, and now they're suddenly like top meta farmers, right? Because people actually like tried things out.
I mean,
But
it's
the
still a
meta
weak
is-
character. You know,
Yeah,
but-
well,
Agreed.
obviously, but the meta is so rigid. Everyone's like looking at these guides and says like, oh shit, okay, I train here.
Yeah.
Sorry about
To switch this map. All right. Do I have a flame on this
think,
item? Okay. Hill
new
on
players,
necro gear. Let's go. Like,
I feel like new players have very little incentive to actually try and discover things on their own, just because of the effort it takes to break the meta, right? Like,
yeah,
it
so I
takes a
feel like
lot.
the entry needs to be like way better, because we need
Yeah.
new blood, right? This is
Right.
all the game's
What about
getting
that?
old
What
and
about
stale.
that
We're
Savage
just
Terminal
dropping.
map, huh? Hazam?
It's not
Talking
bad.
about breaking the meta.
It's not bad. It's an okay map.
It's all right.
I saw Chuck at Scrapyard. Yeah, that was look for the Shadower, right?
Oh yeah, that was terrible. Don't trade Shadow. Just go Netward.
You were dashing, dude. That was easy. You know.
It's so slow.
I know. I mean, I try to
anyways.
encourage people like.
I just feel like the
class
map.
if you
Yeah,
like,
I
you
saw
know?
that too, Chuck. I just feel like the map choice was. I don't know.
I just
Every
went
other
Netward
person
and Hill
coming in is
5,
like,
whatever.
Why is he here? What's going on?
It's fine.
All the other maps taken? No,
Yeah.
but so I feel like the entry, you need new blood coming in, right? That's vital for a game's growth and sustainability.
But I think the
Um,
thing with the meta is because like Reboot's been out or just the game's been out for so long, people have already figured it out, right?
Yeah.
It's like
I
all the
agree.
discovery has already been done.
Fair.
So it's
Mhm.
like that's
Yeah,
why there's so many guides. That's why the meta's there. Like I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
But is it true though? Like there was a guy in my stream the other day. He's like, "Oh, I farm on a Phantom still on this map here, and he's making like better rates than any Kanna I've seen posting." And it's like, oh, a lot of people think mechanic is like a really bad class, but if you see like what kind of rates they can make,
Yeah.
like
Mechanics are
I
really
bet a
good
lot
farm.
of people would be really
I
surprised.
think that's probably more people just don't like the playstyle of mechanic. At least that's my thing with mechanic. But
I can
Maybe,
attest to
yeah.
that as a
Well,
Nightwalker.
Chug's
very
mechanic
Some
man.
decent rates too, but nobody wants to play it because it's hard as hell. So it's like, obviously
by
other
the
options
way.
exist, but like, it just happens. People kind of funnel into whatever's easiest and lowest effort.
Yeah.
I mean, even people who can farm good rates in their mains, they still make their Kannas, their Loomies on Reboot still. I mean, that's a giveaway sign.
Hell no, the farm on a DA for life.
I can't laugh at you there.
I mean, I try to promote people to find stuff that they enjoy because I feel like Maple is a really long-term commitment. So as long as you play something you enjoy, you can put way more hours into it than if it's something that's like objectively better, but you hate what you're doing. Because
Yeah.
eventually you see people burn out just because they meso farm so much and then they make items and then all of that money allows them to upgrade super fast and they skip to like basically into the late game immediately. And then they're like, hey, what is Gollux actually? And they're like, level 210, they have CRA gear and they don't know what Gollux is, you know?
yeah, progression nowadays happens really fast, so you lose a lot of the exploration that you used to have in the game.
Yeah, I
Because-
don't like that they keep well, what I love about Maple is that they keep making so much new content. I love that.
Yeah.
But with every new area and every new thing that comes out, some old content is made obsolete and it's just sitting there. And
Speaking of the
they
meta,
kill off their old content or something.
with someone in the chat mentioned with the introduction of the new PetVac pets, maybe there'll be new better maps than the current meta, like better than CLP, because
That's actually
maps.
I think
that-
a lot of maps
Really?
become
There'll be a
viable
lot
with
of-
that back.
That because like
pets-
the pet has
Logan's
a certain like what is it? It's
Range.
got a certain loot range,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
can't
Like a
loot
circle
items
range.
below it. So just you need to
Oh.
be sure of that.
Okay.
It can't loot
Only
items
above.
below, only above.
Oh.
So
okay.
yeah,
It's interesting.
It's like about a quarter of a screen, a little bit less, I think.
That's still really
Yeah,
good.
I like
but-
that. Maybe
I would have to see how
open
big the
one
client is.
more viable because
Yeah,
you won't have to deal with like the side platforms as much.
Yeah.
You
The
could just like
highest
use
I've
rope lift,
seen
right? You know, and it'll just go into it. You know, you'll just loot it.
The
Yeah,
highest
like
I've
that.
seen the pet loot is so let's say Temple 2 in Isfera, and you're on the ground in the tallest platform that's above. It's one of the platforms that is above the others. It's able to
Yeah.
loot up there. I'm not sure how I can specify that even more because
well, I
I'm not
think
in
we-
Isfera right now.
We've seen Steve's
I'm not
clip,
even in
right?
the game right now, but
Temple 2?
Like Steve had a clip, and you can see like his pet jump off, and you can see right when it triggers the bag on the top when it gets like vacked in. You can see the range perfectly. Because
Which
before the pet
platforms
jumps,
did you say, Kobe? In Temple 2?
It
Temple
doesn't.
2.
It doesn't loot. If anyone has Steve's clip, we can.
You
see
mean
it very
the
clearly.
middle and the bottom, or
Probably
all right.
the
So basically, the platform that you're on.
oh, this
And then
one?
you just teleport it down from it. Yep. It can loot up
So we
there
can
from
loot
the
up here.
bottom. Yes.
What?
Pretty much from the bottom. I think that's probably. I think that's.
But then you can't like loot the top, can you?
What do you mean? Oh no, it can't loot all
Like
the way
the
up there
very-
though.
Yeah.
But that's
Good to
too high up.
Good to know.
Song don't hide pocket. They're saying. I think your camera's in front of it.
No, I was showing the map that Kobe
No,
was talking
there's,
about.
yeah.
Can I start a boring topic about the about the getting to 275, I want to pick Pocket's brain a little bit because we're like the old guys here, so we can leave these young kids behind for a second. Do you think it's like, so? Because do you have an idea of like how much time it's gonna take and like combining it with? Because you're working full time, right?
Yeah.
Like combining it with, because okay, I saw this clip a while ago and it was like you still have like dreams and aspirations for the future, right? And if you ever want to put any time towards that, you know that it's probably gonna come down to playing less Maple, right? Realistically. So how do you? But if you have that new frontier, like the 275, how do you ever think like? If you choose to do that, you're basically completely putting yourself offside for the other stuff, right? That's something I'm struggling with now, because if I really decide to go race for that, that basically means social life is put on hold for even that much longer. I don't know if you thought about that.
Yeah, it's been asked. I'm not racing. I don't really care. I know who's gonna win already. Top like 1,000 probably. So I don't really think about that too much.
The
I'm just gonna
arcs.
take it slow. Yeah.
See, the thing is,
Not a question.
Don't let me in with those arcs.
the thing
I'm a
that
different arc.
I
Hey, I'm an
really
arc too.
respect about Pocket
Yeah.
is that he does work full time, but he still manages to farm that more than, I want to say, like 90% of the rest
Most
of the server.
people.
Like every
It's
time I tune into
unbelievable,
Pocket
dude.
stream, he's always farming. I'm like, damn, I wish I could farm that much.
I don't.
Yeah.
I can't do that shit. Like I think he plays more than I, and I don't even do any work.
Yeah,
I
that-
don't even know how he fucking does.
That's actually pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the time management is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
Pocket, you need to teach me how to manage my time. Ooh,
Onegai senpai. Teach me.
Wait, how many farmers do you have now, Pocket? I know you have at least 3, right? That can farm Arcana.
Mm,
He has to think this long. Oh my god.
Oh. It's not just straight like 1 or 2.
Oh,
Like, oh wait, let me just count.
Is it 8? That one doesn't really count.
it's like 4, but should we like refocus on things that Nexon might care about?
We've talked about all the main topics. We kind of just
I mean, next one cares
Spitballing now.
about you.
Do you mind if I bring up a
Are you
new
sure?
topic that's
Go
like
for it, Beck.
us? Okay, so when are they going? This is something that Nexon could easily change as well because they'd already done something similar. Red cubes. So with red cubes, so when are they going to make it so that MVPs, Wealth Act, and
yes.
Legion coupons don't disappear when you DC?
Yes. I mean,
Oh, yes.
make it so no buffs disappear. How about that?
Thank you, man.
Just like
Yeah,
permanent,
there we go.
permanently freeze every.
Just
Not,
do
well,
it
not
for
freeze,
everything.
but just like what? Just add everything. Just put everything
Yeah,
into the
just-
filter.
Why manually do shit?
Like
Just do
that's something
everything.
that's like that
I think
can
the
be done
fact
in the
that-
immediate future.
There's only certain things in the filter that is so dumb. Like they should just put everything in there. Like,
Exactly. Well, like why have a
it
filter
is
to
a
begin
known
with?
problem in KMS to DC if you change channels too much. Like you'll just eventually crash.
Oh,
It
that's the thing in
happens
KMS
very
as well.
Yup. It
Yep.
happens very so often, especially after getting an MVP buff. That's why often I DC and I have 29 minutes of my MVP buff left.
Yep.
So it's an issue.
Because given how unstable the game and like the servers sometimes are, like you pop a wealth potion, goes for 2 hours. Oh, you DC'd 5 minutes in. Oh, bad luck. It's gone now.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
that's
the
something we
worst
could
feeling.
talk about, the server instability.
The worst. The worst.
Anyone have some fun stories about
Oh boy.
disconnections that they
We have
experience
some
on a
Bera
regular
players
basis?
in here.
Oh, God, I hate
I think the game is really bad to play on Wi-Fi. Because I recently purchased
Potato
over
boy.
the summer
Get
over.
focused.
I recently purchased an Ethernet cord after my laptop with my Kanna on it would keep DCing like 10 minutes in, so I would never get like good farming on my main. And after I purchased an Ethernet cord, it was all fine, which is kind of dumb. I feel like if you disconnect from the game for like 5 seconds, the game shouldn't crash. But instead of like put on a waiting period or
Tomato,
something.
my bad.
the game crashes when you log into the game, so I don't think the game has a rule set for what causes it to crash.
Only like 6 times.
Only 6 times, you're right.
Oh, that's C++
Yesterday, it only
runtime
took me
error,
3
dude.
times.
Every morning, at least twice.
It's just a mess. And Bera especially, I don't play Reboot, so I don't have much of a reference point as far as how bad Reboot gets.
Yeah, how
Like,
bad is Bera right now?
Bera's terrible. Bera's actually
channel 20 is only viable. That's
20
Not
and
anymore.
19.
You just leaked it. Oh,
Right.
job, man.
What if we
Okay,
get
well.
the extra channels that KMS has?
What? I mean 16.
Wait.
17,
7,
17.
Go to 7.
7 is the best channel. 7 is
Yeah, go to 7.
So
Yeah,
a
no,
question for
it's,
Matt in Austin: How laggy are your boss runs?
Well, we usually try and find a good channel before.
Yeah,
So-
like you
Oh
go
my
on
God.
you go on the good channel and then
Yeah.
it's fine.
You just have to make sure
Other-
nobody finds
otherwise,
out.
It's terrible.
the one good channel.
Wait, guys,
It
so
really honestly feels like there's only ever 2 good channels at a time. And
what
the
if they
rest are
made it
just
into like
bad.
the KMS
Yeah.
channels? Like
I
30
really
channels?
hope they would, because there are so many servers, like all of the really big merged servers that are almost empty. They could just allocate that server space to Bera,
Mm-hmm.
and we would have more channels, and it would be less garbage. But they haven't done that. And I don't know if they plan
Less
to do it.
garbage.
So.
Oh.
I mean, they've been
The
talking about it
optimism.
for almost a year now.
How
No,
long
it's a
has
few
Bera
months,
been
few
laggy for?
months.
Like consistent lag? It's
Since
been
April.
Okay, so coincidentally, since they fixed pet lag.
Real-
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
What
Yeah,
wasn't that like
yeah.
March?
That was like
End of
April-ish.
March? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take this
Damn,
lag
that's like
and put it
5.5
over here.
months.
Put it over there.
How do you guys
Push it
play this game?
somewhere
I
else.
would have quit already.
It's
Because
Yeah.
I
It's
cannot
actually
play this
horrible.
game with server
they
lag.
did.
I just can't. I just log off.
Well, I
I mean,
mean, but
that's-
you do. You live in Australia.
It's not server
So
lag.
it's
It's
like-
ping.
that's
It's
a
different.
different
Hey.
kind of lag.
Shots
But
fired.
honestly, half the reason that I haven't gotten my arc to 250 yet is that every time I have free time to train, the server just sucks. So if I train, I'm killing like maybe half as much as I would if the
Mm.
server wasn't a laggy piece of
Yeah.
trash.
Mhm.
And it just feels like I'm wasting my own time.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
just go do something else instead.
That's like
Terrible.
how 2x was like a year ago. No.
Yeah,
was it like
I
a year
don't
and a
I don't
half
train on
ago?
2x anymore.
In Reboot, there was like 2x.
Oh my
and you would
God.
just not be able to play anymore.
Bro, I remember when 2x didn't lag. Oh,
Me too.
So the thing with
Speaking of which,
like
we
I
have a
know
2x in
like
2
there
weeks.
was like a
yeah,
period of
I'm not
there
gonna
was,
be
like, a
here.
week.
Fuck me.
a week or
Same here.
something where Reboot was laggy, like it was just as laggy as Bera, and the outcry was enormous. Like there was so
Oh,
many
yeah.
people complaining about Reboot lag on like Reddit and everything. And I think
Yeah.
the reason for that, the reason why like the Reboot players are so much more vocal is because the server revolves around farming, revolves around grinding, and like as soon as server lag hits, you just can't farm anymore. It's terrible. Your rates just
Yeah.
Yeah.
dip.
In
You
Bera,
just can't do it.
people just
So-
log off. No one actually like
the
we
only
accepted
grinding
that
you really
phase.
do in Bera is if you're training or if you're like farming for like nodes or droplets or symbols, right? And
Nobody
there's a lot
actually
less
farms for those.
people I feel that do that compared to the amount of people that
Yeah.
meso farm and reboot. So
That's sort of related to another issue, specifically the ridiculous amount of botting that goes
Mm.
on. Very few people actually farm for their own nodes anymore because you can just get them from bots.
Well,
oh,
I
right.
mean, but that's basic. That's mainly due to the fact that they nerf drop rate, right?
That too. Yeah.
Like
Like,
it
back
all stems from that. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
Can you
I
talk about
like
the drop rate
I
thing,
would
though?
still be on Bera actively farming, buying my drop coupons, getting symbols and nodes and all that jazz, right? But it's just not worth it anymore for like my time investment.
Do you think the bots caused the lag to some degree?
Mm,
I think there-
the
there
botting
has
problem
I
been-
think it's a
is-
possibility.
If
There's
there's more
been
people
talk
playing,
about
there's
that.
more lag in the server, right?
Yeah, we can talk about it. We don't
I
have
think the
any more
bots also caused the
scheduled
lag.
topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because
Yeah,
like
but-
let's say you have like 1,000 in a channel, right? They're like that's it's gonna cause some lag. You
Yeah.
know, it's a lot of
Yeah.
stress on that particular channel.
Mm.
right?
I
Wasn't
remember
there, like,
I
a
was
week or something
in
when
I
a
was in
hack
Bera
went
for a little
down?
while. I think I
Yeah.
was doing like I think I was doing monster collection. Yeah, monster collection on my Ilium. So I went to
As you
like
would,
Ellen
yeah.
Forest, and like no one goes to Ellen Forest. I shit
No.
you not, there was 39 Kannas in one map.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
one map.
Did you take
It-
the time to count?
Yes,
friend was doing
I went to the report
bot
list, and you
collection as
can
well.
Very
see the
specific
amount
number,
of
I'm
play,
pretty sure.
amount of butts.
There was a GIF that got posted on Reddit
Yeah.
maybe like a month ago.
There's been a
from
few,
Orbis
yeah.
Tower.
GIF?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
call it GIF.
Did you
alright,
just say
get over it.
GIF?
Yes, I did.
Yo, it's
Yeah.
not that
Alright,
big of a deal.
no,
Yo,
no,
relax.
Let
Anyway,
let
yeah.
Austin finish.
Talking about the Kannas jumping, right? Like all the
Yes.
Hakus just
Yep.
jumping off the
Oh,
platform.
yeah.
Just like a
In-
fountain of Hakus
in Mummy Dogs.
going like over and over.
Cascading.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Cascading
No.
Kannas.
Not Mummy Dogs. It
Yes.
was in like Kerning Subway.
No, it was in Orbis Tower.
Weren't you in Black
Oh, really?
Centaurs, Matt, or something?
There's been a few.
Black-
Yeah. A clip of mine. I think it was Ryan clipped it. Like, yo, that shit went viral
Oh.
so
Or like
quickly.
16
man.
or something up on the
Yeah.
ground, just like.
Yep.
It was basically
like- it's
Pink
like,
Beach
oh, I
all over
wanted-
again.
I wanted
Just
that
waiting
elite
for a
boss.
pig to
Oh,
spawn.
never mind. I'm out of there.
Didn't Pocket also have a clip that came by? Like when someone asked him what MapleStory was about?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
True
saw
map,
that.
and it's like,
That was
Wait,
really fun.
what was that again?
That made
Okay.
me laugh too hard, man.
it's perfect timing.
Someone in chat asked what was MapleStory about, and he walks in on a dual blade botting and
Oh.
Epic timing. Yeah. But wait, Austin, and Matt, about the drop rate nerf, has anyone done like the actual math to see if it's actually worse now or better now
it's
to
so
level
much
up
worse.
your skills with
Symbols?
nodes?
Oh, like
Because nodes
the
used to give, like,
ratio from
everyone
like
skills.
symbols to droplets.
like just
talking about
the
opening.
mean?
Well, for symbols and droplets, it's obviously way worse. But for nodes, because before you would get like everyone's nodes, and now you can only get your own. So I think for nodes, it's better now than it was.
Oh, you mean
before.
when you
Oh,
open
yeah,
nodes?
I'm not.
The,
Yeah, when you
the
open
node
it, I'm
rate
not
is
too sure.
actually about the same in terms
It's
of how
about the
much you
same?
can get. It's slightly worse, but the symbol rate is so much worse. It's
But
like
I feel like
actually
when
not.
most people complain about like the drop rate nerf, a lot of people are like complaining because of nodes.
Yeah, because
I
everyone
don't
needs
think
nodes.
people realize how much better nodes are now than they used to be. Like you get way less, sure, but the value of an individual node now is so much higher than before.
No, because bots have thousands.
Oh, I'm talking
No,
about
I mean,
Bera,
like-
sorry. I'm talking reboot. I'm talking about
Oh,
reboot.
in
now.
reboot, yeah. Maybe.
I don't care about Bera, but
All right, then, never mind.
I think the
you're like a
quantity of
numbers
nodes
guy,
is
you
still
know?
better. Because you have like an 80% chance of opening your own class's nodes anyways. So
That's
80%
true.
of
Didn't
like
they
double the rate
increase-
is still better.
The amount
it,
of
like,
nodes you need to put into
very-
one for one level, like they slightly increase the amount because of that
yeah, they
change?
decrease that as well. Yeah.
But also
Mm.
with the drop rate nerf, they also in the memo, I'm just gonna bring this back. They said that they wanted old players to catch up to new players, but nerfing the node rates like that isn't gonna
Mm.
help anyone.
Mm.
So
It's-
it's really
if anything,
hypocritical.
It makes it harder for early game players.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Mhm.
so.
Catch up.
Yeah.
I laughed
Like
so hard reading that
you're
memo.
slowing down the end game, but you're slowing down the people trying to get there
to the
too.
end
So it's
game.
like
Yeah.
like okay, it's the same amount of time.
We've
I
shifted the
had
problem
a
this
friend-
way.
My friend
Two
didn't
people
access
went to
nodes
flash
on
both their
Hayato
tires.
until he was 247.
Oh my gosh.
I maxed my nodes with the drop rate at like 205 or 206.
I have a friend in guild. He's about to hit 250.
I
He's not
maxed
even
nodes
halfway
already.
done.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
like saying that it would help new players is
Yeah.
so counterintuitive by actually dropping the node rate because it didn't. It just set everyone like less than a third of the rate.
Speaking of drop rate and speaking of catching up, how about Arcane Force? Can we talk about that?
What about it?
There is
I think
no
it should
way
be still
for
farmable.
newer players or even like late game players if they want to change mains, other than Arcane Catalyst. Which
I
is
agree.
in
It-
Reboot.
like again,
to
it
catch
just,
up
it all
to
stems
endgame
down
players.
to drop rate.
Yeah,
It
Like-
all stems down to that drop rate nerf. Like you
Mm.
can't farm for it anymore,
yeah.
and it's like you have a server that's built around farming, and it's just like, well, where's my progress if I'm only getting a symbol every 3 hours? Like,
Did you guys see the post Nate made a couple weeks ago?
Yes,
No.
yes. About how
it about?
symbols should still be farmable, or at least like another way to get symbols.
Yeah, something like that. Like the amount of time it takes for someone to actually get like 540 and 1140 and stuff.
Yeah, that was yeah, he posted like rates of how many symbols you get per day on a daily, and like something ridiculous like 540 days to max out Vanishing Journey. So unless you want to invest a year and a half of your life to doing dailies every single day, you're not going to max Vanishing.
It's going to be the
Mhm.
same thing for Aspera too, because it's only 8.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna get it in. Yeah.
It's like if you ever want to do any of the hard bosses past like hard lucid, so hard will, you got what healer coming out, you got black mage coming out, you're gonna need arcane
Yeah.
force. And players that like
Yeah.
haven't started yet,
person-
you're not gonna get
Oh,
there
bad, carry on.
anytime soon.
What's up, Kobe?
What's up, Kobe?
I personally don't think that it's that bad to get most of your symbols from dailies. Just me personally, only because of just looking at how far you need to be into the game to be able to even deal remotely decent damage to like Black Mage to begin with, and what level you need to be, and that takes probably a lot more time than it would take to max out your symbols. My personal opinion.
Yeah.
I know dailies are annoying when you have a lot of them, but the one thing I love about arcane dailies is that you eventually stop doing them, unless they release level 25.
They release level 25. You're doing them for like 5 years.
I'm not doing
Nothing.
25, dude. No.
Yeah, but
Because
like
that would keep people coming back like artificially to old areas way too much. They should never do that. Either bring new symbols or something else to give arcane power or something. They shouldn't re-level cap the things. It's artificial area gatekeeping. It's not
But-
good.
Although I will say, like, the whole level cap increase thing, since the new areas don't actually drop anything worthwhile, people are most likely still going to stay in Esper. So people are going to be farming a lot of
they
droplets and
drop
symbols anyway.
Toby throwing stars, Nox.
Lawyered. Oh,
Kobe's caught
Wait,
my
is that
so
real? They
Is it
dropped
is it
Toby?
I got
confirmed?
your number, dude.
Is it confirmed
What's up?
that the new areas do not drop droplets? Is that a thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Only nodes.
So
And
wait,
throwing stars
did
and
you say
old scrolls
Munchie-
from back in the day.
is Munchie in the new areas now?
Wooden tops.
Yeah,
Oh,
Munchie
he's
is
training in Lehman.
256.
Has
No, he's
and he hasn't
255.
found
It's
a single
two
droplet
areas.
yet.
It's 2 areas.
Is there one dude
no.
like 261 or something?
That is
That's
awful.
in reboot.
It's in reboot.
That sounds
Wait, the
legit,
amount
like,
of
4
time
levels beyond
that it
everyone.
takes to get to the new cap level, it's like
It's
playing
like
like
Nexon?
non-stop every day, like 16 plus hours. It's gonna take you at least like around 2 months. That's a
It's the
that's a lot
equivalent
of
of-
time investment and a lot
See,
of
on
droplets
KMS,
you're
I would
missing out on.
say
Yeah,
the
probably like
average time to reach 275 from 255 would be around about 2,000 hours.
Yeah.
So if we were to put that in 24 hours a day, it would be around 2.5 to 3 months nonstop.
Yikes.
Yeah, at least
It's-
4 to 5 months.
It's the equivalent of getting like 9 250s. Or is it
Yeah, a
10
little bit over.
250s? Yeah.
Yeah. 8 point something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Reboot's got something different though. Apparently, the top Reboot player, who's level 260 right now, got there by apparently I think there was like an abuse in Labyrinth of Suffering to where the golems give really good EXP in Reboot. So they just, I guess, CC and farm those.
It's
Um,
261
Oh, the big
already,
mob.
by the way. I checked the rank.
Yeah, the big mobs in Labyrinth.
He was
So
500.
going back to Arcane Force, I feel in particularly in reboot, right? I feel like we should be able to transfer our Arcane Force.
I don't see a reason why Arcane Catalyst is not in reboot, other than the
Yeah.
fact that
Me neither.
It's an equip.
it turns into an equip.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
the only
the
reason.
equip.
You
Mhm.
can't transfer it
Isn't
into
it
storage.
technically a use item?
Is it?
The catalyst itself is a use item, but the symbol you get is equipped.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So you're transferring the I don't know what's called that state of the symbol.
Unstable.
Yeah.
state, right?
Unstable, yeah.
Have you guys heard,
Through your
though?
storage as an
A
equip.
couple of weeks ago, I mean, there were people saying that they had, well, there were screenshots of people in Reboot that had the Arcane Catalyst and Legion shop, and they had their entire storage, like equips, be transferable. So
It
Sounds like a hack.
no, it was just like a glitch. They just logged on, and that
Oh,
just
really?
kind of happened.
That's strange.
What?
So
Wasn't the catalyst like the item you got also like a use in KMST or something, and then from Tespia to release they changed it to an equip? Wasn't that the?
I just
don't know.
feel like if
Nothing
like if you want to be able to or if you want to, because I'm speaking like from personal experience, you want to change your mains, right? You're no longer having fun on this character, but you have all this arcane force, and it's gonna take you forever, to just like be able to farm that back. You should be able to transfer it over, like in reg server.
Mhm.
I don't see why, like, there's no reasoning why you shouldn't be able to.
Especially because the whole game has moved way more towards playing multiple characters rather than just one all the time. Like that's very 2008. Like everyone's building their legion. Everyone has a bunch of level 3 links. Like you want to be able to deck out those characters and see what they're capable of. And you can't do that if you're literally missing out on 1,000 arcane power. Or like my second character that I've been doing dailies with like forever on my main account only has 600 arcane power. Like it hasn't even caught up to my Kannas mule yet. This is so far behind. It's impossible. Let alone a third character, which is probably like 200.
Also with that, there's a lack of bishop mains in Reboot, like for really end game clearing parties. Is there a
I'm trying
lack
to help
of
my
that
mom get better? Okay, I'm trying to help her.
In non-reboot, yeah, you have you have bishops.
Oh really?
Oh, there's like
I wouldn't say there's
4 of them.
that.
there's
think
like
the thing
5
is,
bishops.
because you guys have so much more damage, you don't really need a bishop in the party.
That's true.
to
The
still play.
bishop is there more for healing.
Yeah, I feel like Bishop is more of a utility. It does provide a lot of damage, especially with their third V, but I kind of like Bishops more for their utility than for damage.
No,
Yeah,
we're talking about
Benediction
like
gets nerfed,
Benediction,
right?
like the amount of party damage it
Right.
gives to everyone.
I mean, KMS is
That's
balancing like pretty much every single
Yeah.
boss in
I
some
think
way.
Bishop's
Bishop's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
top 5
At
most
least so.
popular in KMS.
So
Mm.
if you want to think about your average Bishop
EA
player,
most popular, right?
they're either choosing between Kannas and Bishop, right, for support because they want to play support. But like,
I think that's actually
People are
a
gonna
pretty
go on it.
interesting topic because, in my opinion, support classes are not fun. And I don't know if that's a majority opinion, but I think it is. And given the increasing importance of classes like Bishop or Kannas in Reboot or Endgame bossing, I think that's a little bit like unfortunate. I don't know if that's the right word that I'm thinking of, but just the fact that these classes that, at least to me, are not enjoyable, are so heavily favored late game content. You
I
end
think
up
it's a
with like
subjective thing.
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
It's kind of like support. I mean, I don't play it, but I heard that like the bottom lane meta for League is like completely destroyed because supports are too strong. But people who like
League?
play support all their lives would be happy to finally like be the big dig guy in the bottom lane, right? And I think it's kind of similar. Like if you always play like the support type class, but now you can actually you're not like the guy that they just have there because of your utility, but you actually are like really important for the run. I mean, I think it's okay for the people who are usually in the shadow to kind of have their moment to shine as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
don't
just think that
particularly like those support classes either.
The
But
thing
I know,
with-
for example, like the Mihile can tank a lot of damage for your party.
In my opinion,
nobody
like for the touching on the lack of bishops, eventually as people get stronger, like when people upgrade more, get more 22 stars, when people hit like 1140 arcane force, I don't think people like the end game parties will need bishops anymore when people are strong enough to clear without them. And especially with like Benediction getting nerfed in the future, I mean, you'll just have to get stronger, right? Just have to keep making
Yeah.
upgrades.
Isn't the shell also changing?
true.
A little bit?
Shell already changed, didn't it?
Oh, already changed. Okay.
There's another
thought
shell
so.
change coming
Oh,
with
okay, never mind.
Benediction nerf.
But well, what I think will happen is we'll get to the stage again, but we will need bishops again and Kannas and such for like the black mage fight,
Right.
and then we'll get to the point where we're strong enough, and then we'll have the next boss, and then we'll need that support again. I
Yeah,
think it'll
I
be like that
think the
motion,
reason that
know.
Bishop is more heavily favored most of the time in regular servers due to shell and or healing
And door.
more so than Benediction.
Mm.
But for stuff like Black Mage, you obviously don't want to just bring a mule bishop. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, there's not going to be a mule bishop at a high enough level
Yeah.
to do Black Mage. But
And
Well, I have a
arcane
spare
force.
260
Yeah.
lying around, that's fine. Yeah.
but you can't just give up a 6th DPSer
Yeah, no.
to have a soul support class.
We have
And
Tamir.
so that requires a funded bishop, which is not exactly a common thing.
Well, you can have Ice Lightnings swap over, right?
True.
That's the power of the Explorer.
Yeah, I guess so.
And all of those fire poisons as well, they can be swapped in.
I know a
All
lot
of
of
them.
bishops that are actually
Both of them.
changing to Ice Lightning after level cap raise because they want to train more efficiently.
That's true.
So,
Yeah. You can't really train on a bishop.
mm,
It's ironic
can,
given
but
that they have.
I mean, it's not optimal.
Hey.
Yeah.
My mom got to 250 on one, dude.
There you go.
See, the interesting thing
Prove me
is like,
wrong.
I think bishops are actually fine in KMS training wise, because the respawn rate isn't so high,
Yeah.
so they can actually maneuver and hit, like not all the map, but like a good portion of the map.
Yeah.
So people actually train like that, but here, you know,
They
that kind of goes
actually
back to the
train.
whole,
It's a different meta.
you know, like the
so.
whole kitchen thing.
Yeah.
Maybe with pet back, they'll become good, right?
I still have yet to see an in-game bishop training in either KMS or GMS. I just can't find how
see
they
any?
train.
Or
It's just I don't even know what they do.
do they exist?
They probably angel
I
rank.
go training time. I'm switching back to Ice Lightning, and I'll be back to bishop for boss.
Wait, isn't the rank is it the rank 10 non-reboot in Korea right now a bishop?
What's up?
We checked the rankings earlier. The rank 10 right now in KMS non-reboot is a bishop.
There you go.
Rank 10 is a bishop.
Yeah, 255
250. Wait, 255 in
or
non-reboot.
257, something like that. Like
Oh.
rank 10.
Non-reboot.
Yeah, non-reboot. Yeah.
That,
No, that doesn't exist.
Isn't that the bishop in Lunar? and Clear?
There's only
Check
two.
the rankings.
To my knowledge, there's only 2 characters at 255 right now. There might be a third one, but let's
Was
see.
it? Wait, wasn't it? Oh, maybe it was. Reboot.
Maybe you're looking at Reboot
really was.
Yeah, maybe I'm looking at reboot.
because Reboot
Oh, yeah,
is
'cause the
much
level 10
higher.
can never be
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, reboot is the second tab on the page.
I don't know. Someone had to link it to me because even with auto translate, it didn't compute. But yeah, there was a bishop up there. I was surprised.
What do you know?
Can I suggest a topic now?
Oh yeah.
I think we're
Someone's
actually
been
out of
asking
time.
about-
It's been
Ooh.
Oh, are we?
2 hours.
Oh,
Oh.
wow, it's already 10.
Time
12. I
flies.
didn't
4
even-
a.m. Nice.
All right. I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us or joining for the podcast. It was a big success. We'll definitely have more podcasts in the future. Yeah, I'll DM you all more details on that. But yeah, thank you everyone in the stream for joining us. For those that missed the podcast, the people that joined late, I'll upload it to the YouTubes so you guys can watch it in full if you'd like. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. I will see you guys.
Do
in
we
the
have
next one.
a jingle yet? Oh god.
A jingle?
A jingle?
Are you
sub sound.
volunteering? Are you volunteering to sing?
Go
a
for it,
jingle?
Matt.
Mm-mm.
Go sing.
Can somebody clip his voice crack? I want my new sub sound.
MapleStory again.
Oh yes, please.
Alright, Kobe, can you outro us out?
I got y'all with that outro right quick. Let me do that again. All right. There we go.
Whoa.
Thank you all so much for being here.
Whoa.
You there?